Hello. I was gonna start a few minutes ago because I'm a little late. Dinner went long. Except then I realized I needed chocolate. And that became the priority. So now I have chocolate. Chocolate I technically shouldn't be eating, but wanting to eat chocolate when you have a nut allergy is kind of a nightmare, so I don't know. If anyone knows some like really good chocolate that does not contain any nuts or peanuts, then like let me know. This doesn't have any, but it is manufactured on the same equipment that processes almonds, and that means I really shouldn't be eating it. So that's fine. It's fine. I have an EpiPen. Cross contamination hasn't hit me yet. Cross your fingers. Knock on wood. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. All right. Yes, yes, yes. Skip, skip, skip. Oh God, the broken lights. I hope your cake is good. What kind of cake? Oh wait, I have to fix the... We will adjust as needed. I now adjust after friend stream, so I have to go back and forth. This is not a good place to test the audio. You'd think I'd know that by now. Ooh, red velvet with cream cheese. Hell yeah. Okay, this is a good place to test this. Whoop! Knocked over my mic. Well, didn't knock it over, just kind of like caught it. I was listening to a few VODs for, I was listening to a few of the on Lost Future VODs because I've been uploading them. I've managed to get back into the swing of uploading. I'm gonna try to do like 4 VODs every weekend at least, and maybe 1 or 2 throughout the week if I can remember. And there are so many times I've bumped my mic, and it is so fucking loud, and I apologize. If there's one thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna bump the mic, okay? That's what I realized. I'm gonna bump the mic. Okay, let's try negative 16.5, and I'll write that down. I wish you might be able to have presets for your audio mixer, but I don't know how to do that. Okay, so we are at the very last section of this game. And we are in Exposition City. Woohoo! Did I lose the end of Pandora's Box? The final VOD ends before the last 20 minutes or so of the game. I did not. Let me write that down, Novala. It may have been... now I don't know. It may have been an exporting issue, but there's no way that would have been a separate stream. So... 2 things could have happened. 1, it was an exporting issue. It didn't export right, and it didn't export the last 20 minutes. 2, something happened with the Wi-Fi on that stream, and I lost the last 20 minutes. So I'm gonna write that down to check after this, because I didn't notice it was missing. Usually I check those, but because it was the last one, I think I was like, that looks right. So... we're missing... If I was that close to the ending, I don't think Hannah would have let me stop, you know? I think Hannah would have just been like, keep going, we're almost at the end. You were like, at the end of the stream, I wish I had got... But I gotta go to sleep. Give me 1 sec. I'm gonna check my VOD files real quick. Was Pandora one I was still downloading? Let me mute so I can hear things without you guys hearing them. Okay, I see what you're talking about. I do. Is this a different VOD? I found the end. I just don't think it got uploaded right. I thought I uploaded this one. What might have happened is I tried to upload it, and my Wi-Fi might have failed, and I thought it went up, but it didn't. So I will upload this after. Maybe not after. I'll upload it tomorrow, and it's gonna bother me because it's gonna be out of order. But we live. It's fine. I'll just keep this one highlighted so I remember which one it is. Because there is Peepaw in all his wrinkly glory. Alright, cool. That has been sorted. I'm so glad I didn't lose it. Losing that Azran one really fucked with my brain so hard. Alright, bring that back. And now we will finish this game and get to Zach's speedboat era. This has to be Phoenix. Turns out we had a surprise witness on our hands. The victim himself, the storyteller. Then again, nothing surprises me anymore. The secret behind Labyrinthia, the legendary fire, witches, magic, and finally, Bizella. Ninji, so true though! If Hannah were here. So Hannah and I think, first of all, we've talked a bunch about Rouge and Zach being siblings for no reason other than it's fun. Like, why do we need a reason? It's fun. But we were talking about it, and Zach is not that old, so unless he joined very, very recently, which he could have, but he's like such a high-ranking like Inquisitor that I'm like, I feel like he's been around for a bit, but he's only like 25. Like, he's not that much older than Phoenix, I don't think. If he's older than Phoenix at all. He doesn't actually have an age. But, like, he's not that old. So, like, I fully believe this kid joined Labyrinthia, like, in high school or something. You know? Like, his parents were like, we're doing this thing. And he was like, shit, I don't know. Like, at the oldest, I can kind of see him being, like, having joined when he was like 18. Like, I just think he joined really young, you know? So anyway, I don't think his ass has a boating license. It definitely doesn't have a law degree. Nothing about this man screams law degree. Fantastic. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you enjoy your zine. And also I hope you had a good time in Michigan. The veil was just about to be lifted off of these mysteries once and for all. Okay, everyone, it's high time we end it. Let's give Labyrinthia the fresh start it deserves and solve these mysteries. Okay, buddy, who is tagging me? Oh, that's not for me. That's in everyone. Great. Oh, the broken lights. We're so close to not seeing the broken lights.
The Inquisition's investigation seems to have yielded some unexpected results. But can someone explain them to me?
I think Barnum worked a minimum job his first year in high school and said, I hate it here, and got so brainwashed. Honestly, unfortunately, I get it. Sometimes you wash yourself to get out of the horrors of capitalism. And that's just how it is, I think.
Your Honor, the Inquisition will interpret the results of its investigation.
He's only qualified to stock the shelves at TJ Maxx. What is the British equivalent of TJ Maxx? Do they have TJ Maxx? I don't know.
Witness, you said you were about 6 years old at the time of the incident.
Yes, that's right.
Did you see the moment the dragon appeared above the town?
It is too loud for me and I cannot hear my voices. I play the audio on my computer so low.
Huh? No, I don't remember. I remember seeing it at some point. It was like a flash. The town was ablaze, and this fiery beast was hovering over it, above it.
Meh.
Then when you noticed the dragon, the town was already engulfed by flames.
Yes.
That information completes the picture. Ms. Cantabella's statement has offered me an insight to the true story of the fire dragon.
Great.
Over 10 years ago, Ms. Cantabella was in the belfry unconscious. What events led to this? Perhaps we will discover that in due course.
It's gonna be crazy, man.
When she awoke, the whole town was on fire.
Hold on, let me check to make sure I actually posted. So there's been multiple times now where I was like, I'm gonna stream, and I post my thing, and I think I posted it, but then I didn't post it. And then that's embarrassing. Hello, Hannah? I gotta retweet this, this Carmine Accidenti art that Hannah sent me. That's open in a different tab. I'll repost that right now.
When she awoke, the whole town was on fire. Having inhaled much smoke, she was still dazed. She was only vaguely aware of her surroundings when she looked up, alarmed by the scorching heat. Unable to stand, she was on her knees, and then she saw something she would remember her whole life.
I feel like this is it conjecture? This is wait, what's the legal definition of conjecture? Legal definition of... I've literally Googled conjecture legal definition before. Okay, I guess technically this isn't well, you know what? I'm not a lawyer, so it doesn't matter. Ooh. Hey girl, you doing good?
She saw a terrifying fire dragon attacking the town. She soared through the fretwork in the balustrade.
Ninji, good point. Phoenix is the only one here with a law degree. Maya has a law degree sometimes, but only when she is being inhabited by Mia. So we can actually debate whether that's Maya having a law degree. So, there's one man in this town with a law degree, and he's struggling.
The shape of a dragon against a backdrop of the town being swallowed up by flames became imprinted in her memory. That is the truth about the fire dragon.
Law degree LaCroix.
This is what I have deduced. I've just decided.
Okay.
Oh.
It wasn't a monster?
LaCroix.
Yes. Miss Cantabella, the illustration you have drawn for us bears an uncanny resemblance to the fretwork in the belfry. You saw the dragon when you were confused, possibly mildly asphyxiated from the smoke. There was no magic and no magical beast.
Hiccup. Oh no. Oh no.
You believe a stranger, but not your father. That's so typical of teenagers. You should have listened to me. And now that all the mysteries have been unraveled, shall we not end this trial and go home?
Objection.
He said,
As much as we'd all like to, I'm afraid it is still a bit too early for that. What else do you want from us? There is just one more problem I'd like to solve tonight. One more? What on earth could it be? Miss Cantabella, we've ascertained that you were in the belfry when you saw the dragon. However, that creates a new question. How did you get there?
Oh, I haven't thought of that.
yeah, neither have I.
As expected of an ace attorney, Mr. Wright seems to have noticed the problem too at last.
He may be good at digging up other people's repressed trauma, but what he's learned from that is just how to repress his own even better. He's learning from their mistakes, you know? Like, this is how he uncovered their trauma, and now he's gonna learn. Now he's gonna learn, and he's gonna repress it even more.
In order to access the belfry, you'll need to use the bell tower mechanism. That mechanism can only be set in motion with the pendants. Indeed. Ms. Cantabella, did you have your pendant with you at the time?
Yes, I think I did. I always had it with me. But why did I have that pendant?
Like, okay, great question. Why did they give this to a 6-year-old and an 8-year-old? Why did they give these to the children? Why would you give these to the children? Every prosecutor I go up against has so much trauma. Good thing I'm normal.
I can't remember it at all.
This pendant is not just for show. It's the key to the belfry. Why was she carrying it around? Did they tell us? They might tell us. I forget.
We must also not forget that one pendant does not suffice to operate the contraption. 2 of them are required.
2 pendants?
Miss Cantabella, are you certain that you were alone in the belfry?
No, I wasn't alone. I was there with a friend.
What friend?
Meow. Meow. Cutie. Eve. Where did you go off to?
If there's one thing about Shu Takumi, if there is a kitty, that kitty is getting a bandana.
The friend you mentioned, was it this cat?
Yes.
Shibubu! Oh my god! Help! Oh my god! Oh my god. So, did anyone else watch BBC Sherlock? I think the answer may be no, because I keep fucking bringing it up, and people don't always know what I'm talking about. So, I hate this. In season 3, it is revealed that when Sherlock was little, he had this pet dog named Redbeard, and that he wanted to be a pirate. It was actually very sweet. It showed some humanity for him. In the very last episode of the entire show, it is revealed that Redbeard, the dog, was not a dog. The dog was his childhood best friend that his sister drowned in a well. Which is a lot. She was jealous because she wanted to be friends with Sherlock and no one else was. Regardless, why do I now know 2 detective medias where, like, childhood trauma has had a character misremember their best friend as a pet? Why has this happened twice? You know what I mean? Why has this happened twice? Everything I do reminds me of him. Everything I do reminds me of him. And I hate it so bad. I hate it so bad. Every single day I'm like, this is just like BBC Sherlock, and then I have to end it all. Like, we can't keep doing this. Anyway, sorry, I just had that realization and I was like, no! Anyway.
Yes, she's my best friend. We've always been together. Without Eve, I would have been so lonely.
Oh, so does he only, what, does the pet only get 1 L?
That kitty is always appearing out of nowhere to keep us fellow company. Of course she does. After all, Bazella is always accompanied by a black cat.
Well, what do you got to say about that, storyteller?
What you saw from the bell tower when you were little was so terrifying that even an adult would have been scarred for life. The town burned in front of your eyes. You thought you saw a fire dragon. You see, your memories have been twisted by the horrors you saw.
Oh, what do you mean?
The dragon you saw wasn't real, and I suspect that the friend who was with you in the bell tower might not have been that cat.
No, it was her. It was Eve, my only friend.
Ms. Cantabella, the pendant needed to access the belfry is too large for a cat. Are you following? If Eve was with you, it would have been impossible for you to enter the belfry.
I had mac and cheese earlier, Hannah. I understand.
Wait, Inquisitor, where is all this going? You have no right to tamper with my daughter's memories.
I mean, this is the thing about memories, especially childhood memories. It is very dangerous to be suggesting things in the way that Layton is. Very bad things have happened because of this. So, like, you do have to be careful. It's a goofy video game, but, like, Layton just telling her these things happen, like, and you don't really want to try to recover memories because every time you try, you, like, add things that may not have happened, like, we all know. This is not the best form for anyone.
You are right, of course. However, neither do you. Nor should you attempt to cover up the truth.
Maybe you guys should all just leave Espella alone and get a licensed therapist in here.
Duh.
No, you're wrong. He was my only friend.
Think about the day again, Miss Cantabella. You went to the top of the bell tower with a friend who also had a pendant.
Like, if you just keep saying it, people will eventually start to be like, I think I remember that.
Well then, why don't we have the defense present some evidence? Can you prove that someone was with Miss Cantabella in the belfry that day? If so, I'd very much like to see the evidence.
What? Why me? It was the professor's idea. I have nothing on the legendary fire. Why ask me for proof?
Right. I suppose you won't have any proof. Not one of us remembers that incident. I've heard enough of this, Your Honor. You have no grounds to continue this trial.
Girl, you good?
Well, we appear to have reached a dead end. There's nothing else for us to do.
Objection.
Please hold on, Your Honor. Oh, what is this all of a sudden? Inquisitor Layton?
Know what? Fair.
The defense does not have the necessary evidence, but someone else does.
What do you mean?
This time, the Inquisition will present its evidence.
The Inquisition will present evidence? Wait, seriously?
You son of a witch!
Yeah, real smooth game writers.
This is what you wanted from the very start, isn't it?
Is this the section where you can fuck up and get Layton all embarrassed?
Well, in that case, the Inquisition shall present evidence that somebody was with Miss Cantabella in the bell tower when she saw the fire dragon.
Great, so we are going to save state and we are going to fuck up. Bell of Ruin!
Have a look. Objection.
Yeah, that was random. Or is the Inquisition just testing the waters? Come on, Professor.
What's with the satisfied look on your face, Nick?
I've always wanted to do this. Everyone's always poking fun at me if I present the wrong evidence. It feels so good to do it to somebody else for a change.
Unfortunately, Inquisitor Layton, I failed to see a connection between the matter at hand and the evidence you presented.
There he goes! Damage Sprite! Professor down!
Well, if you don't test the waters, you won't know if you're out of your depth, but I'll present the correct evidence next time.
You're looking very happy again, Nick.
It's music to my ears. Someone other than me making a silly mistake and coming up with a lame excuse.
You know, then maybe you could use some time off so that you can release your pent-up frustration.
Great.
Well, in that case...
It's this one, right? Yeah.
Have a look.
I love how I asked it as I was presenting, like, okay. Yeah, Phoenix is so proud of being the only bitch with a law degree in this room. Real.
This is the proof.
A picture. That is not, as far as we know, related to that day. I get, like, obviously I understand what the professor is doing. I totally get what is happening. But what I am saying is this would not actually hold up in a real court of law, which this is not. It's not, but, like, you know.
This photograph shows Miss Cantabella with a friend. Golly, this is the finest illustration I have ever seen.
Me looking at the girls. This is the finest illustration I've ever seen. Look at these babies.
It is a photograph. It looks as if it were a reflection of the real world on paper. Tell me, who created this exquisite work of art? Well, Your Honor, I understand you are fascinated, but let us focus what this picture shows. I messed that up so bad. This picture was found in the Storyteller's Tower. Mr. Cantabella, we have taken the liberty of borrowing it for this trial.
Okay.
It's enough to look away for a second and you already caused trouble.
Professor? Aren't photographs against the rules? I mean, this is supposed to be a medieval setting. Maya is like, anachronism? Hello? Anachronism. Hello? That's not allowed. Meh, who cares? I love this line. It's not anything, but Phoenix just being like, what fucking ever is so funny to me. Like, Maya's like, hey, wait a minute. What? And Phoenix is like, I no longer give a shit. Like, it's really funny to me.
What's important now is helping Ms. Cantabella to grasp the truth.
You guys have to do this in, like, a safe therapy setting and not fucking in front of the whole town. Are you kidding me? Professor, come on, man.
And in this case,
The end justifies the means. Oh, is this just, are we just back to the Dark Age of the Law? Whoa, that's crazy. We're back to the Dark Age of the Law. Hold on, I gotta add something real quick. Image. Browse. There we go. It can be very small. We all know what it means. We all know what that one is. I always lose my shit thinking about Luke being right fucking there while Descalate Trava dumps on Layton at the end of Azra, and then I remember this scene. The whole fucking town is there. Yeah, literally the whole town is there. It's wild. Everyone is here. Like, we couldn't have done this in a safe environment for Espella with professionals. We had to do it fucking here. Crazy. Also, yes, Hannah, I have a folder on my desktop that is called Dark Age of the Law, and I have 3 memes in there, so I can use them whenever needed. It's the screenshot of Athena saying, I'm sick of hearing about the Dark Age of the Law. It's the one down here in the corner, and then it's one that is just the guy from The Office saying, shut up about the Dark Age of the Law, shut up about the Dark Age of the Law. And I just have them on standby for whenever they could possibly be relevant. Because it's important to me to have those ready at any point in time. So, you're welcome. Not now, Luke, we have to go kill ourselves. Oh god. Anyway.
Please take a closer look at the 2 girls in this picture. Each of them is wearing a pendant. Why, that's so. These are the Belfry contraption pendants. We know that one of these girls is Miss Cantabella. But then, who is the other girl? The Q's, do you have any idea?
I love how they don't know. Like, guys, who else looks like that? Espella? Are you okay?
It doesn't look like she is. It's me. And The other girl is... She's... I don't know.
Speller! Your Honor, stop this trial. Stop it right now. Can't you see you're driving a speller into insanity?
Objection.
Listen. Professor, I don't know if this is the time or place or if you are the person. I don't know if you're the person to be doing this. I don't know, man. I really don't know. I really don't know. I don't know, you know, I don't know about this, Professor. It's not awesome for you, Guy, to be doing this, you know, we don't need to.
If we turn away from the truth now, the speller will close herself to the world forever.
How do you know that? You're a professor of archaeology. But what are you talking about? How do you know she will close herself to the world forever? Are you speaking from experience? Like, what is this? How do you know? You are not... Can we, like... At least if Simon or Athena were saying this, I could be like, you know what? They're psychologists. This is just some fucking dude.
Ugh. Mr. Wright.
Yes?
You know who it is, don't you? You know the identity of the other girl in this picture.
Yeah, well, who looks like that?
Is that so? If the fence knows that. Tell us all who this other girl is.
Like, come on, guys. Who else could it be? What if it was all of the vigilantes?
Take that!
I'm thinking it's High Inquisitor Darklaw. High Inquisitor Darklaw? I cannot say I didn't have a slight I cannot say I didn't have slight suspicions about her, but oh my.
What do you mean slight suspicions? We already confirmed that she's been working with the Shades and was working against Cantabella. What do you mean slight suspicions? What the fuck? Come on, Judge.
Is Cantabella? What do you say? Do you now remember the girl next to you in this picture?
I was with Lady Darklaw.
This is crazy. What are you basing this preposterous claim on? But Miss Cantabella?
Ninji, you do not need to have a law degree to be like, well, you are suspicious, slightly suspicious. We just found out she's been, like, running the witches. That's not slightly suspicious. That just is suspicious. You don't need to have a law degree to know that. I know that. I don't have a fucking law degree.
This girl closely resembles the High Inquisitor.
There's no... I'm over here hitting the space bar as if that's how this game works. It's not.
Resembles? That's just your personal opinion. It's meaningless in a court of law.
Which this is not. Hey, Cantabella, this is not a court of law.
Objection!
If you want evidence, I've got it. What?
The definitive proof that the girl in the picture is High Inquisitor Darklaw is...
Take that!
And this is the proof it was the High Inquisitor.
The pendant needed for that contraption in the bell tower.
I have Miss Darklaw's testimony here. She said this pendant was hers. And so... the other girl in the picture is definitely Miss Darklaw. You can never exchange pendants. If I know one thing, it's that once you get a necklace, you are holding onto that necklace until the end. If that means eating said necklace, so be it. You are not being separated from that necklace once it goes on. Trust me on this. I know from experience.
It is. Is it? Is it really? Just like, did I name my cat Eve because of Darklaw? Eve? Where are you going? Gibby.
Girl, why are you over here?
I was expecting you, Ms. Darklaw.
Oh, right, she just fucking vanished before. I forgot about that. God, he should have ninja. You're right.
I see. I was not mistaken about you. I trusted in your ability to get this far.
Hi, Inquisitor Darklaw. Where did you just appear from?
I've been here the whole time. Does your memory not serve you well, Your Honor?
Yeah, like, look at them. Look at them. It's so funny. It's so funny.
You know what I am. I can disappear at will anytime I wish to. So, storyteller, everything is worked out just as you had written. Oh, revered creator of Labyrinthia.
Darklaw.
Lady Darklaw?
I love how she comes over to stand next to Layton and then immediately leaves.
Ms. Darklaw, did you enter the belfry with Ms. Cantabella when you were little?
Yes, I did.
Then you have memories of events from before 10 years ago.
I certainly do.
Broken lights, broken lights.
Order, order, order in the court.
Lady Darklaw, you were with me. Your memories have been suppressed by that man. But I was with Eve. Eve, huh? Eve the Black Cat. Yes, she's always been my dear friend. She was by my side on that day too. What a bizarre coincidence. Darklaw isn't my real name.
What? Then what is your real name?
It's Eve.
What? What?
You are Eve?
Babies! Baby girls!
Eve?
Oh, they're just talking to each other.
Isabella? My dear friend. Eve? It can't be. That flashback. Was it real?
I love that she calls it a flashback. Girl, that's a memory. What you just had was a memory, a flashback. Baby girl. Baby girl. That flashback, we call those a memory. Oh, I sent this to Hannah because I didn't want to put the artist on blast, and I still don't. But I was looking through something, and I found some art for verses of Phoenix and Layton, and Phoenix was like significantly taller than Phoenix, and Layton was significantly taller than Phoenix without the hat. Like, he had the hat on, but like you can still tell like how tall he is, obviously. And it was so jarring to like my worldview. Like, it was so jarring. To me, Hannah, he was standing on a box. To me, he was standing on a box. You know? Let me look at it real quick to remember how much taller he was, because it was significant. Like, wow, we talked a lot about this. Like, Phoenix just comes to, like, his nose. Phoenix just comes to, like, his nose in the art. And I was just like, this is wild. This doesn't fit into my preconceived notions of how tall Professor Layton is. How tall did I say he was? I was maybe joking. But I think I said that he was, like, very short. It's my personal right to make Herschel very short as a person who is barely 5 foot. I want that man pocket-sized. Yeah. Hannah, every time you say that to me, I'm like, that's still too tall. And the reason is because I am short. I am only like 5 foot. So when you're like, Des is 5'5" max, or 5'7" max, 5'7" is tall to me. I am that short where 5'7" is tall. So when you're like, Des is probably 5'7" max, I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? That man's 5'3". You know? It's just because, like, we have very different height perspectives. Like, my brother is 5'9", I think, and it's ridiculously tall to me. I'm like, why are you so tall? Be shorter. You know? His height, including the hat, yeah. But, like, I make him very short. So, Des is also very short. And then to me, grown-up Luke, he's about 3/4 of an inch taller than Des. How tall is a traditional top hat? Great news. Here's your information on top hats. This is good things to be doing while Ispella's having a breakdown. I think that Layton's top hat is slightly taller than the standard today. It looks slightly taller to me. Yeah, a traditional top hat is pretty short. Layton's is probably on the taller end. If this helps, who gives a shit? Me, you know, me. I'm the only one who's out here measuring top hats. Anyway, Ispella's calling her memories a flashback. This is just like when I saw a random video that got recommended to me on YouTube, and somebody called like their own like personal growth and development and like personality a character arc. And I was like, hello? It was a teenager, so I wasn't being super judgmental or anything. I was just like, hey, my guy, you're a real person. Because it wasn't like a goofy, like, haha, my character arc. Like, it was a serious video. And I was like, that's your personality, bestie. It's not a character arc. This is real life. Anyway, Ispella's having a moment. We should respect that.
Darklaw, why are you doing this? Are you trying to undo everything I have accomplished in the past 10 years?
No, you've already ruined everything by yourself.
I think she hates this man.
What is it that you want?
What I want?
I want you to burn. I'm sick of your shit.
My aim is to make the truth known, so that everything returns to how it should be.
Ms. Darklaw, will you tell us what you remember about what happened back then, more than 10 years ago?
It would be my pleasure. It was the day of the fire festival. Isabella and I went up to the bell tower. The wind was strong that day. When the sun had set, the festival began. It's true that the whole town burned down that day. The fire consumed buildings and people, turning them into ash. We were the only survivors. We stayed in the belfry, while the world below us was being eaten up by hungry flames.
Why did the belfry burn down? I was wondering this the other day. I was wondering this last week and I didn't voice it. Because I think my mind then went, well, the belfry's in the middle of the town square. But she did just say it was super, super windy. So, like, I was like, well, why didn't the belfry burn down? It doesn't really matter. I was just like, huh. Because it's also made of wood, isn't it? We were in there. Isn't it made of wood?
The legendary fire is no fable. It happened here more than 10 years ago.
Objection!
There are no such things as magic and fire dragons, so how could a whole town be destroyed in just one night?
Yeah,
Yes, that's something I would like to know as well, even if we assume the celebratory fires got out of control. Surely the whole town wouldn't have perished like that.
Who is this? Now it all makes sense.
Now it all makes sense. That was the missing piece of this puzzle.
What do you mean, Professor?
I can imagine now what transpired that night, what happened in the belfry, and what caused the legendary fire. We have all the clues we need.
Can you not hear the music? It's absolutely a puzzle game, Ninji.
If the Inquisition has evidence to show us, I'd very much like to see it. What caused the legendary fire?
Have a look.
Have a look. The cause of the fire is in the belfry. It was the bell. That bell had been made by the natives and later sealed underground. It was called the Bell of Ruin.
Bell of Ruin.
By the way,
Why does this bell have such an ominous name? Layton, we've talked about this. It is a proper noun from a language that you don't speak. I think he just named it himself. He's like, hey guys, why do you think it had such an ominous name that I mostly gave to it? The way these games treat translation makes my head hurt. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. It does. It does. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. It makes my head hurt.
could it be because it's made of pure silver? Pure silver?
If Des was here, I think Des would be losing it. I have very specific headcanons. Very specific headcanons about Des and how he thinks about languages. It's all in here. It's all in here in my brain. It's in my brain for me, myself, and I, and sometimes other people when I'm like, hey guys, I have a hot take. Ugh, if Des could see this work now, he'd be so embarrassed. What is your brother doing? Come out of hiding, Des. You have to fix this.
Exactly. Mr. Contabella had told us earlier that everyone who lives here has a very peculiar condition. This condition makes people fall unconscious upon the sound of a certain metal being struck.
Yeah, we are related. I lied. Never talk to me again. I love Des. I have zero hope that he's gonna show up in New World of Steam because they aren't gonna do that, but what if? I'm still sticking my gun on Brenda and or Clark mention as the cameo, but like, what if? What if Mr. Linguistics himself showed up? What if we got Des? What if we got Emmy? Truly, I'll lose it for real.
And that metal is pure silver.
These weird outfits and Taya's linguistics headcanons. There's so much more to know. It's wonderful. There's so much to know about this weirdo. He's such... The thing is, they made so many really, really, really good characters in the prequels, and so many people haven't experienced the prequels, and like, I know that there are good characters in the original trilogy too, obviously, but there is something about the prequel characters where there's like so much to chew on there. Maybe it's because they like stay for more than one game, so like you learn more about them, but like, Randall was only in one, and Randall is crazy. That guy is crazy. Holy shit. Really good. The prequels have such good characters, and I really need level 5 to port them so other people can experience them because they are really, really good games. They're genuinely, like, really good games. They're really good, and I think other people should play them. I think they should.
Yes, and we've been told the condition is brought about by drinking the groundwater. Indeed. That bell was also the reason why the original inhabitants of this area decided to forsake it. It seems that the Bell of Ruin caused a devastating disaster. To those who have gained entry into the sanctum, heed our words. You must not ring the Bell of Ruin. I can't help but wonder what disaster this bell has caused. An enormous bell made of pure silver, and the locals with their peculiar condition. It's not too hard to imagine what happened. It was probably the same calamity as the one that happened over 10 years ago. And that is... Well, what disaster happened to this town before Labyrinthia was built? Come on, Phoenix. Ah. The legendary fire. Now, let us contemplate the following scenario. What would happen if the Bell of Ruin was sounded during the fire festival?
Lost Spectre? Wow, Hannah. Embarrassing.
Oh,
Everyone who heard it would fall unconscious. As it were an annual festival, all the townspeople were assembled in the town square. Oh dear. Therefore, on the night of the fire festival over 10 years ago, all the residents instantly lost consciousness when the bell was struck.
Hannah, you're so mean to me. Maybe I won't message you tonight about stuff.
oh no.
I love that they just kept her, like, mean little smirk on for this spot. Like, girl, everyone died.
Had it been even just slightly windy that day, the fires lit for the great witch Bizella would have gone out of control. And they would spread throughout the town with no one left to stop them.
Ninji, what was it? I'm curious. I fully thought Clark had murdered his wife. I fully thought he murdered his wife and some other dude. Like, I was very convinced. Okay, good! This is why... This is why we always say trigger warning Clark, because for a very long time, I was very convinced that he had murdered his wife. Yeah, I was really committed to that theory. He's still not a good dad, but, like, he's not that bad. He did not murder his wife. So, I'm very curious if when Tony finally plays, if she will also think that he murdered his wife. She might not go that dark.
And they would spread throughout the town with no one left to stop them. Because everyone was unconscious. Exactly. That also includes 2 girls who were in the belfry.
Espella and I.
You were the closest to the source of the sound, so it was inevitable. When you recovered consciousness, it was already too late.
The only reason I didn't think something more like that was because I was pretty convinced pretty early on that Clive was not Luke. And mostly it was like jokes, but there were just little things like him never talking to animals where I was like, fucking excuse me, talk to the bird, you know? It was really sad. I was as I was uploading some of the ULF VODs, I was like listening to what I was saying as I was clicking through to make sure things sounded okay, which that first one got fucking destroyed by the copyright for music. But there was a few times where I was like, I don't know if it's better if Flora's not here. It's probably like, I don't think that I'm gonna be super happy if Flora shows up. And like, I had no idea how bad it was going to get. It was wild. It was wild how like, I did not think I was going to be happy with how they treated Flora, and it was somehow significantly worse. Like, I started stream 2, like, I don't actually know if I want Flora to show up. If she shows up, I doubt I'll be happy with how they write her, and if they do write her well, I will do something and Hannah can tell me what that is. And I completely forgot about that, which is good. Or fine, because they didn't write her well, so it didn't matter. But, like, I had no idea how bad it was gonna get. But, like, just like that, sometimes I just, like, carry a joke, and, like, the joke was, like, Fluke never talking to animals, and I was like, so are you gonna do it? Like, hello? Fluke? Hey, Fluke? Fluke? So he was like, how about baby Luke does it? And I was like, suspicious. We forgot how to talk to animals. Exactly.
When you recovered consciousness, it was already too late. The town had been swallowed by flames, as if a fire dragon had come to burn it. That was a calamity caused by the bell. Calamity.
Fucking thanks, Judge. Super helpful.
You say that the cause of calamity is the great witch Bezella. That night, in this very town, Bezella was more than a mythical persona.
Persona mention.
Bezella. She's losing it again.
Oh, they're floating now. What the fuck did they do? What did we do?
Ruin. Bezella.
Oh, this effect is a lot. I think she's fine. To be continued. Oh, I forgot we were in the epilogue. That's so weird. This isn't a fucking epilogue. I forgot. We had this conversation already, too.
Mr. Condabella, I would like to apologize for putting too much pressure on your daughter.
Yeah, your apology is great, man. Thanks.
Only your words can bring her back from the brink of madness.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Let her hear the truth from her own father.
Whatever.
All according to your plan, Layton. You've driven Espella into a corner in order to push me to the wall. I had no other choice. Espella, please listen to me. You haven't done anything wrong. You didn't cause that accident. You have suffered so much thinking that you were Bezella. I must take the blame for that. You, Mr. Condabella, I sacrificed everything to make up for what I've done. But all I managed to do was inflict more pain upon others. Is that not so, Darklaw?
She's like, don't fucking talk to me.
Now that you are willing to talk, Mr. Condabella, are you ready for about 8 more hours of exposition? Would you mind telling us your story? Yours, as well as Espella's and Ms. Darklaw's. Very well.
Yeah, your story for the 7th time.
This story too began when I was a young lad. When Newton and I were still youths, full of dreams and hope. As you already know, we discovered the underground ruins, and deep within them lay that accursed bell. The Bell of Ruin, I guess. At the time, we still lacked the knowledge to decipher any of the writings we found there.
Okay.
The bell is magnificent. Oh, the bell is magnificent. It's bound to make the most beautiful sound. I've an idea. Why don't we make this bell the symbol of our town? How do you propose to do that? Let's build a bell tower for it, then we can ring it on special occasions. That's not a bad idea. Then it's settled. When we grow up, let's do it. Okay, just don't forget about it.
You guys should have forgot about it.
The two of us chose different paths in life. I studied management in London, while Newton devoted himself to the study of natural sciences. And then you made a fortune following the invention of a new anesthetic.
I can't believe if they'd been greedy and smelt it and sold it, things would have gone better. Literally. Literally, literally.
We both got married around that time, and each of us had a daughter. You mean Isabella was born shortly after your company gained funding? That's right. We eventually returned to our hometown and set about realizing our childhood dream. Having built the bell tower in the middle of the town square, we retrieved the bell itself from the underground ruins. We aspired to make it a symbol of prosperity for this unindustrialized town. The bell was to be officially displayed during the annual fire festival. It would be rung in the morning, following the night of celebration. Pardon the interruption, but at the time, were you aware of the meaning behind the bell's name?
How do you know that it's the name? They literally just said that they didn't have the knowledge to Layton, no. They just said they don't have the knowledge to decipher the writings. So no, they didn't know the meaning behind the stupid bell name you just gave it at a whim.
Obviously, we were not. Thinking back to my ignorance at the time, a chill now runs down my spine. Newton and I went to the bell tower the day before the festival. Only one more day to go. We've waited a long time for this. That we have, this town will no longer be the same after tomorrow.
Yeah, no shit.
The bell weighed so much that ringing it was not easy. We tackled that problem by constructing a
Special mechanism which we installed in the bell. Have you guys seen how big some of the bells that people ring are? Why did you need a special have these guys never seen, how... What? This could... You know when sometimes people, learn too much and then they overcomplicate the way you do things? I think that's what happened to Arthur here, because I don't think you needed to, be doing all of that. I don't think you need to be doing all of this. Okay. Okay, so the bells in Notre Dame are bronze, and silver looks like it is heavy. No. Wait. Bronze is slightly lighter, but not that much heavier, right? Same priest, well, maybe. Same priest in bronze will weigh about 20% less. But still, there had to be a way. Wait. I don't actually know if there are any silver bells. That I can find very quickly. I just think this is silly. Yeah, he wanted to use his math GCSE. You didn't need to do all this. The bell, I know the bell is heavy, but that's why you, use physics. You don't need to install a special mechanism and get fancy with the mechanics. There are simpler ways to do this.
Daddy, I want to hear the bell. Can I make it ring? Daddy, please, let me ring it.
Isabella, who was there with us, was utterly enchanted by the bell. She wasn't a bad child, but she was very stubborn and would rarely listen to me when she wanted something. I told her a story to try and convince her to leave the bell alone.
Espella, listen carefully. You mustn't ring this bell.
My guy really fucked his daughter up real bad with this.
But why? Why can't I, Daddy?
Literally, he's never held her sort of pulleys.
You know about Bezella the witch.
It's really funny. If he hadn't done this, it would have been completely different.
Uh-huh. She's an evil fire witch who uses magic to hurt people.
Great.
If you
I want
ring
more
this
chocolate.
bell,
Hold on.
Bezella will come out and possess you.
Possess me? You mean I'll turn into Bezella?
That's right, Espella. When Bezella possesses someone, she uses them to do terrible things.
You could have just not told her about possession. She's 6.
That's why you must never ring this bell, sweetheart.
I understand, Daddy.
There's a good girl.
Let me finish this chocolate first. Let's all muse on how bad a dad Cantabella ended up being.
The legend of Bezella has been passed around these parts for centuries. It probably originated from beliefs of the tribes that populated this area in the past. What I told Espella was just a silly story that I invented for the occasion. It was only meant to stop her from ringing the bell. I could not have imagined it would have such far-reaching consequences.
Yeah.
It's all coming back to me now. I remember that day. Even though I was 6, and it was a decade ago. On the day of the fire festival, just around the time when the preparations ended, and everything was about to begin.
There's only one under him. Okay, well, no. We didn't include the Ace Attorney dads because that didn't make sense. That didn't make sense to also include the Ace Attorney dads in this list because we were just ranking. There's too many Ace Attorney dads. So we didn't do all of them. But the Cantabella is literally second to last in our ranking for Layton. So he did a pretty fucking shit job.
I sneaked out of our house. I took Mum's pendant with me.
Your mother's pendant? Do you mean this one?
Yes, it belonged to my mum.
We needed to limit access to the bell, so we made 2 keys. We decided to make them independent and gave one to each gave one to our respective wives.
Why didn't they just put it in a safe? Yes, Ninji, Des is on our list. Hold on, I'll read it to you in a second. Why didn't they just put the keys in a safe? And I mean that genuinely. Why were the keys not just in a safe? How was making them necklaces better? Like, you don't have to hide. Like, they didn't even know anything was wrong with the bell, so, like, why were they like, oh, we have to, like, limit access just because it's, like, a special bell you only want to ring, like, once or twice a year? It's just kind of silly. This whole game is silly. But I am the way I am. Ninji, here is the list from best dad to worst dad. In our personal opinion. We have Roland, Firth, Dez, question mark. Dez has a question mark because we never see him with his own child. So this was pure speculation on where we would put Dez. We didn't put him any higher because we really can't know. After Dez is Clark, trigger warning, Herschel, Whistler, Newton, Reinhold, Cantabella, Bronev. So we spent a while on that. We debated a bit. You're welcome to not agree with it, but that is where we decided in our little thread to place the parenting, the dadding abilities. If you were curious.
Both are needed in order to access the belfry.
I saw you and Mr. Belduke use them. So I told Eve to meet me at the bell tower.
Daddy says Bazella will come out if I ring the bell, but if I do it just a little... I want to try it while the festival is going on. I hope Eve doesn't forget her mum's pendant.
Wah, wah.
So it is just as I thought, Miss Darklaw. You are Mr. Belduke's daughter.
Well done, Inquisitor. I was almost afraid you had failed to make that connection.
What in the... This is too much for one day.
Well, it's gonna get worse, my guy. It's gonna get fucking worse.
Order in the court. Lady Darklaw, you mean to say you're Sir Belduke's daughter?
Yes. My real name is Eve Belduke. I'm the alchemist's daughter.
This is unbelievable.
I also sneaked out of my house that evening, clutching my mother's pendant in my hand. I did just as you asked me to. Did I not, Espella?
Espella, my mum's going to be so angry if she notices I took the pendant. Don't worry so much. I just really want to ring that bell. I want to hear it.
I rang the bell against my father's warning, and so Bazella possessed me. Because of me. The town and everyone in it. They're all gone.
No, it's not your fault. Stop blaming yourself.
Supposedly, the former inhabitants of this area also used to fall unconscious upon the sound of that bell. Perhaps they experienced a similar nightmare.
It was I who brought the Bell of Ruin into this town. The one to blame for this calamity is not some witch, it's me.
I brought destruction upon this town. I am Bazella.
Spella, you're going to drive your dad crazy if you keep repeating that.
Seeing you like this is giving me a strong feeling of deja vu.
Eve, how could you be so evil? Are you happy now?
Do I look happy?
I'm afraid we're in the dark as regards.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I'm afraid we're in the dark as regards Miss Darklaw's sense of deja vu.
That's not how I would have written that sentence, but I think it does make sense.
Only 4 people survived the fire.
Only 4? Oh yeah, Phoenix is here. Don't forget about Phoenix!
Spella and Eve, who were in the belfry, and the only 2 residents who did not participate in the festival, Newton and I.
And where were you at the time, if you'll permit me asking?
We were investigating those fateful ruins. That's why we didn't notice anything until it was too late. It was getting near the time at which we planned to ring the bell, so we headed towards the town. Then we saw it. The town had been burnt to ashes. The air simmering from the heat.
That's too awful for words. Sarah, I was literally thinking the same thing.
We searched for survivors, sick with anxiety. Eventually we found our daughters in the bell tower. Spella was unresponsive, like a doll. Eve was crying at her side. I believe at having found them, vied with terror caused by the disaster. The worst night of my life ended pierced with the first rays of sunshine. But then,
It seemed Espella was already lost to us. We had lost her to Bazilla.
She's so little.
She wouldn't speak, eat, or even leave her room. She thought she was Bazilla, and that she had destroyed the town. I couldn't get that out of her head. What she saw from the bell tower must have been so terrifying. But it wasn't shock from what she had seen. My own words had put her in that state. Had I only not told her that stupid story. We had been grasping at straws, trying to find a way to save Espella's mind.
You guys couldn't have gone to therapy? Like, we had been grasping at straws. Did any of those straws involve a professional, licensed mental health specialist who works with children who have experienced traumatic events? Did any of those straws include that? Hello? British people might not have therapy, but this man is so fucking rich. This man could have found a therapist outside of England, you know? Instead of, like, maybe considering, I don't know, any international options if we're going with British people don't have therapy, he decided, I'll do all this. All of it? All of this? This seems ill-advised.
But whatever we did, her eyes would remain impassive and empty. In the end, I came upon a certain idea that offered us a glimpse of hope. What is it? The suspense, it is too much for my aging heart. I believe I may know what it was. It was the only way to get through to little Espella. The Inquisition? What are you talking about? What was Mr. Cantabella's idea for saving his daughter from insanity?
Have a look.
We discovered this in Espella's room. And that is... It's a handmade picture book. The illustrations and handwriting are truly exquisite. That's the first story I wrote. I made it for Espella after that dreadful fire. Oh, the storyteller's first story. It was but a simple children's story. The plot was very straightforward. The townsfolk joined forces to banish the evil witches who serve Bazilla.
Espella, do you understand now? You aren't Bazilla. Bazilla is somewhere out there, sending out other witches to do bad things to the people of our town.
There's a lot of nuance to how you are supposed to help and talk to someone who is currently experiencing delusions. And I am not, like, I don't have experience in that, and I am not a mental health professional. But there are ways that are helpful and ways that are hurtful, and I'm pretty sure 100% leaning in is not suggested. Necessarily, not it. Also, at the same time, like, telling them none of it is real usually isn't helpful either. Like, that's also not the most helpful usually. But like leaning in 100%. The way Cantabella did also isn't the way to go. Like, can we please get some professionals in here, please? And not the fucking business major? Like, I guess at least, like, come on, guys. Man. Yeah, what Cantabella's doing, god-awful. Yeah. The drugs one.
Witches, magic, and town perishing in flames. Espella was mentally broken, and I couldn't get through to her any other way.
My god. just... whatever.
I talked to her as if magic and witches were real, avoiding any mention of the fire.
Like... my god.
Daddy. A witch is real.
Spella spoke for me for the first time in so many days. I was beyond myself with joy and replied without thinking.
Oh, yes, they are. They're hiding in the town, among the people.
But it's just a fairy tale.
Wait, if she's right now saying it's just a fairy tale, then why did he just continue? She's literally like, she's currently able to process the idea that this book is just a fairy tale. So he didn't have to do all this.
I was desperate. I feared she would close herself off to me again. Now, in hindsight, I see what an utter fool I was. I made an irreversible mistake yet again, and then I got other people and government money involved.
No, it's not.
Come on, man.
Everything your daddy writes comes true.
Well,
The bad witches will get their comeuppance. I will write a story about it.
okay.
And so I wrote another story for my daughter. A story about mischievous witches getting caught. This time I had the story acted out in front of a speller.
He had it. It was fixed. He just made it worse. You had it acted out.
Back then, I wasn't the only one tormenting myself over the mental state of my daughter. Newton was going through hell too. His own daughter had been badly scarred by the event. Isn't that right, Eve?
Just like, don't fucking talk to me.
My father and I repaired a building that had survived the fire and continued to live in this town. Espella wasn't even able to leave her room. We couldn't leave her behind when she needed all the help she could get. Also, I was 8. Mr. Cantabella showed us this book one day. Then, he made an unusual request of us.
I'd like to make this story real. Would you be willing to help me do so?
To our surprise, he was entirely serious. Seeing that, we gladly offered our help. A story about evil-doing witches getting caught and punished. And Priscilla, the source of them all.
Were you paying attention, Espella? Witches got what they deserved, and peace has been restored to the town.
Cantabella is like Walt Disney was a raving madman. Oh my god.
Isabella smiled at the end. Then she whispered to herself.
It wasn't me.
The answer is not completely like this is it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Hey, fix yourself, Speed. Oh, come on, video game. Uh-oh.
When I saw her smile, I felt as if something broke inside me. I couldn't afford to let her be sad again.
Well, that's not how being a human works.
Maybe if Priscilla were to exist in this town, Espella would stop thinking she herself harbored the Great Witch. I continued writing stories about witches. Even I would act them out for Espella. And gradually, the number of characters in my story increased. That was, of course, largely due to the ongoing reconstruction of the town. How much reconstruction? It wasn't anything on a big scale. I simply paid people to move in and act out their roles.
Okay, yeah. So he was paying people at first, so potentially some of the shades started out as paid people, and then they probably cycled through them until it was all... fake experiment people. I don't think, like, well, I don't know. What did the recession do to Labyrinthia? These are the important questions to ask.
I began to think I would need more than that. The story had to be real.
To make a lie seem true, he resorted to even more lies.
God, this guy, it really is very funny if this happens and then immediately after, not immediately after, but pretty soon after Unbound Lost Future happens, because it goes Pandora's Diabolical Box, which has drugs. And then we go here, which has drugs and a fake city. And then you go to Unbound Lost Future, and then you go to fake city. So it's just like, boop, boop, boop. Anyway. Ugh, God, I wish I could be a bread baker in a LARP city. I think that would fix me.
Yes, I was certain that was the only way. How did I do so? I remembered about Newton's research. He was working on a certain medicine. It was a kind of tranquilizer, made from local plants that he was testing at the time. But it was difficult to put into practical use. The substance had a danger of causing unconsciousness and hypnosis. Okay, buddy. I can see how that would be abused to cause much harm, supposing it fell into the wrong hands. At the same time, it was just what I needed for my ambitious project. I contacted the government, and that was the beginning of what came to be known as Project Labyrinthia. A town with human test subjects, all in a state of long-term hypnosis.
Why? Fuck you.
You devised that plan solely for the sake of your daughter.
Don't act like this is a good thing.
Don't act like this is a good thing.
Don't act like it. Don't act like that was a good thing he did.
Yes. We acquired the land which had been laid to waste by the fire. The new town was slowly becoming populated. Gradually, the rules of Labyrinthia were established. It was to be a town where magic and witches were reality to the residents.
Ah, fuck. One sec. Reality to the residents. All this was possible thanks to the drug.
All this was possible thanks to the drug. The test subjects were exposed to it through the ink used to pen the story, right?
Hey, Ninji, I'm asking you because Hannah didn't respond the other day. Do we actually have a reason in Unbound Lost Future why there's just, like, some children there? It's okay if there is no reason. I wasn't sure if there is a reason, though. Because there are some people who just, like, aren't involved with, like, the scientists at all. Do we think those people, like, got kidnapped? Like, what's the deal there? Did they think they're in the future? Did they know what's happening? But, like, most of the scientists don't have families there because the whole point for the scientists is the scientists are working on this to get back to their families. Or maybe it's just really inconsistent because I thought the whole point was, like, the scientists were like, well, we're working hard to get back to our families. So, like, that wouldn't make sense that those are their kids. Unless the kids are never allowed to see their parents. And the parents don't realize that their kids are in the future. I was thinking about this a little too much the other day. I don't know if it makes sense. I guess Clark? Wrong guy. I guess Clive just, like, nabbed some people. I don't know. Who knows? Where the fuck do these kids come from? Well, because, like, there are other adults who are working there who are, like, not related, right? Like, there are people running, like, restaurants and stuff. And I'm like, do those people think they're in the future? Or do they know we're just under London, you know? Do the people in Chinatown, does the woman running that really good restaurant, does she know we're in the future? Or does she think we're under London? Or, like, what's happening? I have so many questions. Is she, like, hired by Clive but is not allowed to tell anyone shit, but she is allowed to make really good noodles? I have questions. I have lots of questions. It wasn't being run for a decade, but it was being run long enough that they were able to build an entire ass city. What? Lost Future is crazy. Clive had so much money. Unfortunately, the second time I watched someone play this game was right around the time when for work I was reading a book on I'm gonna use the word radical, like radical activism in like the sense that like you're doing like underground medicine and stuff. So like that definition of radical. So like unfortunately, even though by the time I watched Tony play Unbound Lost Future, I had like mellowed out a lot. I was reading like a lot of this like radical theory, like revolutionary theory. And so that did not mesh with what Clark was doing, like, at all, like, this radical community building and stuff, and I was just like, hey, Clive, what the fuck? Clive! Come on, man. Yeah, not the smoothest moves. Anyway.
That's right. It was the dangerous drug developed by Newton. About 10 years have passed since then. Even now, the town continues to change. For instance, we had some terrible baker.
He wasn't that close, though. Clive did not actually get that close to being based. He gave up pretty fast. Well, no. Yes, he did. Sorry. I'm gonna be mean to Clive for a second. I get it. I totally do. And he's not a real person, so it doesn't really matter. But, like, he's only, like, in his 20s, and he decided the world sucked in, like, a few years, and instead of trying any sort of, like, I don't know, anything with his millions of dollars, he immediately turned to, I'm going to build an underground London, kidnap a bunch of scientists, kidnap the Prime Minister for, and destroy part of London for, And I'm like, but what was the goal? What were you actually, like, what were you doing? I'm like, I'm so, I think that's really one of my bigger problems with the plot of Unwound Lost Future. What was the purpose? Why were you doing all that? Revenge? He was like, all of humanity's bad. So, like, did you try donating money to mutual aid? Did you try building a charity? Did you try running for politics? Like, the UK is very, I don't understand it, but, like, did you try anything, or did you just immediately start building underground London? I have questions. I would like to see his 5-year plan, you know? I'd like to see the flowchart. How did we get here? What was he doing? I don't understand. My microboard, I've taken note on nearly every chapter so I understand what the fuck is going on, because it never sticks on my mind what or why things happen. Yeah, that makes, please do, Hannah, please do. See that, yeah, that's the thing, Ninji. Like, at least if we knew he was going specifically to Parliament, that would be something. But we don't even know why he kidnapped the Prime Minister. Like, we do know it in the sense that, like, he's trying to get revenge, but, like, he doesn't actually do anything to the Prime Minister. It's just, like, hold on to him for a little bit. And then question mark? Like, he wasn't even trying to frame the Prime Minister for, like, destroying London, because he was tied up in some random-ass room. Generator energy thing. So I have so many questions for Clive, because I don't think... He definitely jumped to giant robots way too quickly. Way too quickly. Very quickly. And I have questions. He could have done a lot of things differently, and I would have respected him more, but he didn't, so I respect him less.
Project Labyrinthia. And all this was done for one girl. Ursula was only able to be herself when she lived within my story.
And I do have to say, it's not like I think that revolutionaries should not be, like, radical, and that I don't think revolution is violent. I'm fine within stories revolutionaries being really radical and violent. I understand. And I actually dislike the idea that, like, you can be too, like, you know, it is a thing for, like, because Clive ends up being kind of one of these tropes, I guess, where you have someone who is technically, like, an activist, and they go, like, quote unquote too far, and then they just start, like, being evil. Like, their activism takes them too far, and now they're evil. And so Clive, did I call him Clark? Doesn't matter. Clive ends up being that, and it's like, he didn't have to be. They could have made it seem like he was more in the right, and they chose not to. And they don't do a bunch of great writing in that game, so I assume it's because they didn't know what they were doing. But yeah, I have a lot of thoughts on it, and it's always in my head, unfortunately.
Bella was only able to be herself when she lived within my story.
Yikes. I don't know about that. I would have been fine if Des killed someone, but I do understand what you mean. I'm built different. Des could have killed someone and I would have been fine with it. He could have killed his own dad, and I would have been like, do it. Do it.
Oh, the irony of it.
It's not that Clive killed people. It's that I don't understand. And the game also, like, doesn't want to acknowledge that he killed people. The ending is very weird if you do consider that he killed people. Like, it's a little strange. I just think they did a bad job. They had good concepts. They had some interesting and good concepts, but the execution, I got questions.
Only within the world in which Bozella was real could Ispella's tragic memories be sealed.
My God, go to therapy. All this while, both of you.
Eve was assisting me.
Child labor.
I was the first shade. Don't ask how old I was. As soon as the story began, I disappeared from the scene. If Ispella was to see some magic, then someone had to don this robe.
That's the robe of invisibility. I gave Ispella new memories so that she could live in this town with everyone else. I also sealed the memory of her friend Eve.
Ooh, what?
My existence was too strongly connected to her memory of the fire. Afterwards, I returned as Darklaw, a stranger to Ispella.
But even if you were doing this for Ispella's sake, that's just going too far.
I made that choice. I do not regret the past 10 years.
So she was 10. Like, you could have made that choice, but you were fucking 10. You were 10.
Meanwhile, my father was supporting Labyrinthia from behind the scenes, in his own way.
Do you mean his contributions as an alchemist?
My father's knowledge of medicine was indispensable for this town to function. The hallucinogenic ink was my father's work as well.
So it was. Newton and Eve sacrificed more than anyone else for the sake of Ispella in this town. I will be forever indebted to them.
I need 10 years of back pay for both of us. We wanted to save Ispella, just like you.
But then there's still something I don't understand. Why were you trying to destroy this fake world? In the end, you chose to betray Ispella and Mr. Candabella.
Oh, but I've told you already, have I not?
It was your revenge against Mr. Candabella for choosing to end the story, correct?
I wonder whether that was the true reason.
Professor?
Would Miss Belduke really betray them merely because she did not want the story to end? I dare say there was another, considerably more important reason.
She had another reason?
No need to frown in dismay, Mr. Wright. Please leave this to me.
Well then, let's hear what the Inquisition has to say. What other reason led the witness to betray Mr. Candabella?
Have a look.
have a look. This letter was Miss Belduke's real motive. What is this? I think I've seen it before.
That's the letter written by Mr. Belduke for Mr. Cantabella. It's also Mr. Belduke's suicide note. My dear friend, I hope you can forgive me for leaving this world of my own will. What I have done cannot be forgiven. I can never escape from it.
Something was tormenting Mr. Belduke. It became too much for him to bear and drove him to suicide.
These past 10 years, I thought Father was glad to be helping Cantabella. But little did I know, he was suffering terrible anguish all that time. Cantabella twisted the lives of so many people for the sake of his daughter. Was the story naught but a glorified lie, stripping so many of what little happiness they had? All those years, Father was racked by a crushing sense of guilt.
His agony culminated in the incident of 3 months ago.
Mr. Belduke's death.
Oh yeah, this one again. Nice. Gasp. Who said that?
Before Labyrinthia was created, certain things had to be concealed in order to seal Ispella's memories. Had she seen them, she would have remembered. They were simply too dangerous for her. One of them was me. Ispella's friend Eve had to be reborn as a shade and disappear into the forest. The next thing was the bell tower.
I see. Had she seen it, it would have been certain to stir up those traumatic memories. Memories of the legendary fire.
The only way to prevent that was to erase the bell tower from Labyrinthia.
But how could you do that?
Literally, she was 8 years old. Like, it's so fucked. It's so fucked up. No reason for her to ever speak to Cantabella after this, ever again.
Using the same method as with this robe.
The robe of invisibility.
In short, we covered up the tower with a huge robe. Although it wasn't as easy as it sounds.
In other words, the bell tower had been there all this time.
Like, I think about that all the time, Ninji. Like, presumably that means she didn't see her dad much at all. Like, it makes sense now that she is older, she doesn't see him as much, but like, she was 10 and just went through and after it, like, she was 10 and only 2 years prior had gone through an extremely traumatic thing. How often was she seeing her dad? Like, it couldn't be like maybe like he just had a house and wasn't there at night and went to see her, but it would still be like maybe in the morning he like really early has to go off to work, but like is she getting any schooling? Did they hire someone who's like signed 8,000 NDAs who is like teaching her things? Is she actually just working as a shade full-time at 10 years old? Because that's what it implies, and that's really fucked up. Like, I don't know, man. It's so fucked up.
In other words, the bell tower had been there all this time.
It's been here the whole time.
Only the townspeople couldn't see it. Is that correct?
Indeed.
I don't know what to say. At any rate, the situation changed due to that lightning strike 3 months ago, did it not?
Homemade bread. Fuck yeah. It was a most unfortunate accident, The lightning set the bell tower's cover on fire. That cover was quickly consumed by flames, revealing the abominable bell tower. The beginning of all this, the Bell of Ruin, appeared before us. 'Twas mockery of our efforts.
That tower emerging from the flames must have seemed like a sign of divine anger to Mr. Belduke. A sign that no matter how you attempted to conceal your sins, the truth will eventually float up to the surface.
Having realized this, Father chose death.
He was such a kind-hearted man. I didn't have an inkling of what he had been going through.
Yeah, you're a shit dad and you're a shit friend. Great fucking job.
To him, the participation of Labyrinthia's people within this project was not voluntary. Even though they themselves had signed the contract, he felt those people were being deceived.
Because they fucking were. You cannot consent to something and then not be able to withdraw consent. Like, they are being deceived. You are lying to them.
Father took his life because of you, Cantabella. Now you know what I did. I lost my father 3 months ago. That day, my revenge began.
Your revenge?
The first step of my plan was to rewrite the story.
What did you say?
As president of the Librellum Inc., you had to spend most of your time in London. Over the past few years, you were coming to Labyrinthia only for the parades, so you weren't even seeing your daughter. I know she wasn't talking to you, but fucked up. So naturally, I knew you would never notice if the story were slightly changed.
That explains it. I couldn't help thinking there was something strange going on. Mr. Cantabella is Espella's father, after all. He wouldn't have made Espella a witch in his story. Espella was a witch? When did that happen?
You dumb fuck. Are you kidding me, man?
How could you have known, after all? Let me fill you in on the details. Espella's already been tried once within the Witch's Court.
I wonder how my friend who had amnesia for 18 years would feel about this town. My god.
Impossible. Why? How could you? You knew the risk that would carry.
Look at you, what a fine author of that grand story you are. You left all the work in Labyrinthia to me. Meanwhile, you were making millions for yourself in London.
I think she should kill him.
I think she should kill him. What a pathetic excuse for a father. You didn't even notice that your precious little Espella was in such danger.
Miss Belduke, why did you do that to Espella?
Do you even need to ask? I did it to unlock her memories.
You mean...
When the legendary fire took place, Espella was so traumatized that she closed herself off to the world. We were just little girls then. That tragic accident was too much for us to handle. This fictitious town was created as a facade to keep the truth away from Espella. But the weight of all these lies led my father to his suicide. Despite that, the person responsible for all this carried on as if nothing had happened. I couldn't forgive him. As Belduke's bereaved daughter, I had to have my revenge against both Cantabellas. Judge, this is the whole truth. Now you know the true identity of Bezella.
Objection.
to say the whole truth. But is that really the case?
You already said that. Professor, you already said that. What are you going on about now?
We have been provided with a clear picture of what happened to Isabella so long ago. Nevertheless, we haven't yet heard your testimony.
Don't be ridiculous.
This will be the last testimony in this trial.
Last one, guys! Woo!
Tell us about that night of the legendary fire. I request that you tell us your story.
Who do you think you are, Inquisitor?
I am merely one of the supporting characters within this tale. However, I am very much interested in the truth.
This has been a very long trial. It's going to be long. We still got things to do, but of which this will be the last interrogation. The court demands that a single other witness of the legendary fire provide us with her testimony.
Very well. There is only one truth. Nothing can change that.
Yeah, at least you were invited. At least you were wanted. The truth about legendary fire. I think, Ninji, one of the reasons, like, when we were doing AA4, you were like, oh my god, that is the most default font ever, is because they have a really fancy font for verses. But it also is, like, super default.
Isabella wanted to ring the bell no matter what, so we went up to the belfry. The festival celebrations had already started. The mechanism for ringing the bell was at a height even we could reach. The next thing I remember is coming to and running to Isabella's side. I was shaking her until she finally opened her eyes. The next moment we saw the nightmarish view. All strength abandoned us, and we didn't know what to do. That was when we were found by my father and Mr. Cantabella.
I don't remember what it looks like in the trilogy.
The bell could only be rung with a special mechanism.
That's right. It was made in such a way that even a child could use it.
Why? Oh, there we go.
It was probably constructed by my father. I suppose he wanted to make it possible for anyone to ring the bell.
Then what's with the two? Why did you guys split up the two pendants and give them to your wives then? Like, you guys were like on different pages on how accessible you wanted this fucking bell to be.
In light of events that followed, that was clearly a very foolish decision.
A mechanism for ringing the bell. I noticed something like that on the pillar when we went to the belfry earlier. I better make note of it in the court record. Oh dear, fate can certainly be cruel. I have to agree. If only we had not discovered those ruins and brought that bell to our town. Oh, a second. Or if only we could have deciphered those ancient writings a little earlier. Moreover, if only the groundwater in this area didn't cause that strange condition.
Unfortunately, Mr. Cantabella, a tragedy occurred. All that remains for us to do is seek out the truth.
Seek out? Whoa, seek.
Not for the sake of vengeance, but for the sake of the future.
The unwound lost future? The lost one or the unwound one?
Mr. Wright.
Yeah.
You have been fighting fiercely to uncover the truth. This is the final interrogation. I trust you know what to do.
Leave it to me. To be honest, I have no idea what lies ahead. But whatever it is, there's no question we need to get to the bottom of it. There's got to be light at the end of this tunnel.
Cross-examination. Truth about the legendary fire. Okay.
Hold it!
You needed both pendants to access the belfry, correct?
Isabella asked me to bring my mother's pendant, so I did.
That wasn't the only requirement, however. You also needed to solve a puzzle in order to use the contraption.
I've always been a master puzzle solver. For me, it was child's play. Literally. Get on my level, Professor.
She solved it when she was a little girl? What's your excuse, Nick? Hey, I have different talents. Oh yeah, name two.
Espella and Eve were best friends at the time. Eve is 2 years older than Espella. She used to be like a big sister to her.
And then you erased her, so good job.
So the two of you went to the belfry. What happens next?
Hold it!
So even a little girl could ring the bell.
Yes, easily.
I intended to make it so the bell could only be rung on special occasions. That's exactly why I put the puzzle in place to restrict access. You also divided the key to the belfry into 2 components as an extra precaution. I was careful, but the same cannot be said of Newton, who constructed the mechanism as a whole.
Why didn't you guys talk to each other? Why didn't you guys talk to each other before building this? Hello?
He presumably wished to make it so that even our young daughters could use it, meaning strength was not a requirement. And that became his undoing. By the way, how old were the girls at the time? Well, Spello was 6, and Eve was 8.
Here's the age mentioned.
I see.
That mechanism was the last thing I saw before falling unconscious. And then...
I think this is where we mentioned that she's had to be the one to actually ring the bell. So this might actually be the one we're supposed to press.
Hold it!
I want to eat a piece of chocolate so bad.
Do you mean you fell unconscious, sis?
What?
Do you mean you fell unconscious after the bell was struck?
yes, I believe so.
Our peculiar condition causes an instant reaction. The brain probably doesn't even have the time to register the sound before unconsciousness is lost.
It's almost as if a slice of time had been stolen from my life. When I opened my eyes, I was lying on the floor. I lifted my head and saw Spella lying nearby. I sprang to my feet and ran to her side.
And what about the situation in the town at the time?
I was preoccupied with Spella, so I didn't notice it to begin with.
At that time, was Espella still unconscious?
Yes, I panicked a little and took her up in my arms, hoping she'd wake up.
Hold it!
1 second. Sorry, I'm eating chocolate. So, it was you who woke Espella up, witness?
Yes, it was me. She was out cold, curled up on the floor, until I shook her awake. As soon as she came to, she turned to the town, to that nightmarish view stretching out before us.
When you say nightmarish view,
I can find no other words to describe it. We froze in terror at the sight. It took us a while to notice that smoke was creeping up the bell tower too. Our eyes filled up with tears, and we couldn't stop crying, perhaps because of the smoke. The town seemed like a fire dragon's playground. I was trembling with terror, unlike anything I'd known before.
dear me, merely imagining it now raises the hairs on my beard.
Hold it!
You didn't leave the belfry until their arrival?
Of course not. We were paralyzed with fear. It was an event so traumatizing it still haunts us. Spella fainted again when she saw the fire dragon. I was crying and wailing until our fathers found us.
We went to the bell tower. It was a good vantage point. We weren't expecting to find our daughters there.
Unfortunately, because Eve's PTSD manifests in different symptoms than Espella's, and generally she is able to, quote-unquote function in society, he doesn't give a shit. He doesn't give a shit.
Of course, neither suspected at the time that the disaster had been caused by the Bell of Ruin. Eve was in tears, sobbing violently. As for Espella, she was in a daze. Her face frozen in an expression of disbelief. She didn't know what was happening around her.
I cannot say this with certainty, as my memories are a little vague. But I think I was trying to protect her.
Hang on!
Mr. Cantabella? I remember that very well, as if it happened yesterday.
Cantabella,
would you mind telling us what you saw?
Eve! Espella! Are you all right?
Daddy!
Eve! What on earth happened here?
It was Bazella! Bazella the witch!
Bazella? What are you talking about?
Bazella comes out whenever someone rings the bell, right?
What have you done? You didn't...
Oh, please, Mr. Cantabella, don't be angry at Isabella.
Eve said that it was the most serious. Said it with the most serious look on her face.
Ninji, same. I have to write tomorrow. Zero promises, because every time I promise this, I don't end up doing it. I might, after work, before Tony does Grick, I might, depending on what else I have going on, do a work stream, because I have 2 pieces due the same day, and one is like a third of the way done, and one is like a fifth of the way done. And they're both due on the 31st, and I don't know what to do, at all. Which is, you know.
please, Mr. Cantabella, don't be angry at her.
When she said that, I grasped the situation. I realized what had transpired in the belfry.
Ninji, I haven't emailed my school's career counselors yet. And I need to, and I don't want to, but I need to. So I'm gonna do it, but I'm stressed about it.
And I thought to myself, I must protect these children.
And then you didn't. Not to be rude, but he didn't do a good job of that. Even if he can argue that he protected Espella, like, how much was he really helping Eve? Even if he's like, well, she thought Bazella, blah, 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 blah. And she thought Eve did it. Like, you did a bad job.
Eve. Oh, I'm so sorry, Eve.
Espella. Espella. Sweetie.
Dad, please forgive me. You've done all this for me.
Espella, you're with us again.
All these for me.
Well. At last, it would appear we are one step away from the truth.
My god, I forgot how long this part was. Professor, you seem to already know what the truth is, somehow.
Do I? That remains to be seen. Continue the interrogation, and we shall all know soon enough. Very well. The court agrees with Inquisitor Layton. Witness, continue your testimony.
As you wish. Hold on, I'm trying to remember if I present.
Objection!
Not yet. No, not yet. Nope, not yet. Sorry. Sorry. Not yet.
Hold it!
Maybe not. Perhaps it's just my imagination. At any rate, the only thing I clearly remember is that I couldn't stop crying.
I feel sorry for Eve. She's seen some scary stuff too.
She may not be showing it, but I bet it's painful for her to talk about all this.
I cannot say I don't sympathize with Miss Belduke. However, the truth is our utmost priority. It must be exposed, even if it may come as a surprise to the witness herself.
Huh? You think Miss Belduke isn't aware of the truth?
I'm not sure what the professor has in mind, but let's trust him on this one. I'm sure we can unravel this mystery together.
Alrighty. Let's do our thing and grasp at straws. I mean, grasp at the truth.
Did I press all of these? I want to ring the bells no matter what.
Hold it!
Oh, was this one of the weird ones that's like a little bit confusing? Because I know we need to get to the point that Eve is the one who pulled... Eve is the one who rung the bell, but like I don't remember how we get to that point. Oh, fuck. Yeah, but this is the last testimony. This is the very last testimony.
Hold it!
Hold on. I have to go do something. Hold on. Give me 2 minutes. Hello, I'm sorry. I got a text. I had to handle something real quick. Okay, back to not that. This. Okay, I don't actually know if I've pressed everything, so I'm like, I might have missed something. This might be a press everything one, and I might have missed one. So I'm gonna just press them all again real quick. Or I might have missed someone having shit to say.
And then...
Hold it!
Did I read this? I might not have read this, so this one might be the one I didn't press. Do you mean to say you fell unconscious after the bell struck?
Yes, I believe so.
Oh wait, no, we did read this. In instantaneous.
Hold it!
Did we read this one? So it was you who woke Aspella up, witness? Yes, we did. Yes, it was me. She was out cold. Oh, I just missed that sound before. Or maybe you had to go all the way through it and then come back to it. I don't know. They were still like figuring out the like people saying things during testimony in this one, so there are a few where it's confusing. Excuse me, Aspella.
Aspella, are you okay? Yes, everything's fine.
My apologies for bringing back such troubling memories. You didn't have to. We could have done this somewhere else. Nevertheless, you must endeavor to face them and overcome the power they hold over you. My God. It is, and I keep saying it. I really, really do love it for that because it's so interesting to see this as like a testing ground. It's fascinating to me. I think it's so cool.
Yes, I remember it now. The fire dragon. I summoned it because I'm Bezella.
No, Aspella, it was just an illusion.
No, you're wrong, Dad. It wasn't an illusion. It was a fact. If I hadn't rung the bell, none of this would have happened. Bezella is the bringer of disaster, and that's what I've done to our town.
The accused running away.
Quick, after her!
She's running to the bell tower. I'm gonna do a little note here that Aspella is going to kind of sort of like, is this where she kind of like threatens suicide? It's just a heads up.
Darn it, she's locked herself in. It's no use, we'll have to break down the door to get in. That gal, she's gone in.
This Bill child milled herself.
Stay away from me!
Yeah.
Aspella!
Aspella, be careful! It's dangerous up there!
Please, Aspella, come down.
I think this part right here might be.
I'm sorry, everyone.
Yeah, this is about to be that part.
Have no right to be here anymore. Nick, Aspella's going to do something crazy.
I can see that. But what the heck can I do? Aspella, please do not make any hasty decisions.
Mr. Layton?
The truth is close now. Be brave for just a little while longer.
Not to interrupt a serious moment. How the fuck are they shouting at each other?
The truth? As if it wasn't clear already. If I hadn't rung that bell, everything would have been fine.
Objection.
You may have been mistaken. You still don't know the whole story.
Huh?
Isn't that so, Mr. Wright? I had the same feeling when I was listening to Eve's testimony. I felt Something was not right.
Really? I thought that was pretty much it.
The pieces of the puzzle don't yet fit are themselves the hints to the solution.
So real, Ninji.
No way! You mean Estella didn't ring the bell?
What? Nonsense, of course she did.
As it stands, it's hard to say for sure that she didn't ring the bell. However, we've got evidence that will clear any doubts.
Show us this so-called evidence you claim to have then.
Fuck, that was weird.
What do you think proves Estella didn't ring the bell?
Because I don't know if it's the dragon sketch or if it's the top floor device. Because she couldn't have seen this dragon if she was right next to the top floor device, you know? And also Eve said it's the first thing she saw and she had to go over to see Espella. But I can't remember which of these items, and I don't know if this is a situation where where either works. So we're gonna start with the top floor device, and if that doesn't work, we'll jump over to the fire dragon sketch.
Take that!
Just kidding. It's this one.
Espella, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes!
Where you're standing now is the same spot from where you saw this fire dragon.
Yes, that's right. This fretwork here is the same as what I saw that day. When I look at it now, it seems so small, even adorable.
Defense! What does this have to do with anything?
As you will no doubt recall, Mr. Cantabella told us that people who drink the groundwater here suffer from a condition where they fall unconscious the moment they hear the sound of pure silver. Really weird. Afterward, after the bell sounded.
Oh wait, this means if Nate's here, Nate's gonna hear the actual end of this.
You recovered consciousness sooner than Espella. You ran to her side and shook her awake. As soon as she opened her eyes, she saw the fire dragon. In other words, if it was Espella who rang the bell, that would mean the device for ringing the bell must be very close to the fretwork of the dragon. Espella, can you please check that for me? See if the contraption is located near the dragon fretwork.
Okay. Give me a minute. Mr. Wright?
Espella, did you find it?
I don't know if it's the right thing, but there's something on the other side of the belfry. A contraption with a handle.
What? On the other side?
That's right.
I also, this needed to be broken better to Dark Law, and I don't know if, you don't get rid of PTSD by being see, you didn't do it. Your friend did. That's not how this works, guys. Bad job with everyone involved.
I figured there was something weird when we went up to the bell tower, but I couldn't quite put my finger on it.
No way.
You see where I'm going with this, don't you, Ms. Belduke? If it was Espella who rang the bell, there's no way she could have seen the fire dragon when she woke up.
No, that can't be right.
An excellent deduction, Mr. Wright. Ms. Darklaw. It seems that everything is now clear as day.
Ninji? Do not forget Zach's speedboat. I cannot believe you forgot Zach's speedboat. This is so fucking rude.
What do you mean?
Why, of course. I mean the answer to the question of who rang the bell.
It was her. It had to be.
What do you say, Mr. Wright?
It looks like we've arrived at the same conclusion. Phoenix, not the time for this face. Stop smiling. This sucks. We now know that only one person could have done it. Yeah, it's literally the title of the stream. How could you?
Wait, what good will saying it out loud do? Is there a problem, Mr. Cantebella? It wasn't your daughter who rang that bell. Shouldn't that not lift some burden off your shoulders? Are you not curious to know the name of the true culprit who has pinned the blame on your daughter after all this while?
Come on, guys.
How about you stop taunting us? Just say the name already.
Layton, what is your... Well, we do know his damage, but, like, fucked up.
Who is this true culprit? Let's do it, Professor. Are you ready?
I'm always ready, Mr. Wright.
Can you guys do your gay thing some other time?
It's time to set things straight. The person who rang the bell is...
Have a look.
You're pointing in opposite directions. Like, I understand what they were doing, but they are not pointing at the same person. They are not pointing at the same person. Like, cute, but you're not pointing at E. Like, who are you pointing at?
It's you, Eve Belduke. Me. But there were only the two of you in the belfry at the time. You know that better than anyone.
And as it wasn't a speller who rang the bell, it had to be you.
That's preposterous. It can't be true.
It was an extremely traumatizing event for both you and
Isabella, which is why we've now told everyone about it in great detail.
Your friend's memories were altered from the shock without her even realizing it. She believed she was a witch who rang the bell and summoned a dragon which incinerated the town. However, Miss Belduke, Isabella wasn't the only one whose memories were warped by the horrors you two witnessed. You were affected as well.
No.
They really love
It
this
wasn't
blur
me.
thing.
Isabella, she rang the bell. It was her, not me. But why?
That is a giant ass bell. Holy shit.
What are these flashbacks? I've never...
Girl, they're memories. Stop calling them
I've never had these
flashbacks.
before.
Why are you people calling them flashbacks? Oh, cutscene. Y'all ready to watch people die? Strength wasn't an issue,
What's the
except for the
matter?
fact that strength is an
I
issue.
don't want to do this now. We'll be taken over by Bezella. Bezella is just a fairy tale. And you're the one who said you wanted to come and ring the bell. I did, but I changed my mind. Hey? After coming all this way? Oh.
She's so cute.
Hmm?
She's so cute. Shame about the trauma. Well. This game is so fucked up. I love it so much. It's also so beautiful. This cutscene is really good. Cool-ass dragon, though, is the thing. How long were the fires? The fires were long enough for when Belduke and,
That nightmare was too much for 2 young girls to take in.
When, Cantabella said when him and Belduke came back, everything was basically smoldering. So probably a while. Like everything had burned down at that point. So, I think they probably lucked out with the smoke. Yeah, Cantabella even said they were gone for a really long time. They probably purely lucked out from the smoke because they were up so high, but, like, it probably definitely was fucking with their lungs. But, like, they probably were only okay because they were up so high. I'm so glad it wasn't the girl we were trying to defend who did this instead. It was another innocent girl. It's so much better. Ooh. Literally, Ninji, I felt the same. I was like, oh, Layton isn't like this. But, like, actually, this game is, like, and I've said this before, and I'll keep saying it. I think one of the reasons people sometimes struggle with this game is because they're Ace Attorney fans and they haven't played the Layton games, and the Layton games play it a little more fast and loose than even the Ace Attorney games are. Because I personally don't know anyone who started off as a Layton fan and was like, oh, Versus is weird. But I know a lot of Ace Attorney fans who are like, Versus is too weird. Versus doesn't make any sense. But then, like, because the first Layton game I played, we got to the end, and I was like, I get it. This is exactly what Versus is like. Versus is way more Layton than Ace Attorney in its actual storytelling. It's very interesting.
Your young minds needed to protect themselves. That's why you subconsciously repressed those memories.
Which is also interesting because I've read a few reviews of this game that were like, this game is way more Ace Attorney than Professor Layton because you can't skip the trial portions, but you can skip some puzzles. Like, there's a little bit less puzzle solving, especially at the end here when it's so much trial. But, like, at the heart of it, this is more of a Layton game, I think.
Then, if that's true, for the past 10 years, I've been pinning the blame for what I've done on Isabella. It can't be true.
I just need the Layton games to make internal logic. It doesn't actually have to make sense in the real world, but it needs to have some more internal logic, which is one of the reasons I have a hard time with Lost Future, because I don't know what Clive's motive is. Or, I don't know what Clive's goal is. If they had told me what Clive's goal was, I probably would have had a better time with it. That and Flora. Unfortunately, I'm never gonna like that game because I had a really hard time with Flora.
It's impossible!
Eve. Wow, they really love that blur, huh?
Darkglass just disappeared.
She's donned the invisibility robe.
Hi, Inquisitor Darkglass, she's run away! But did you hear that? It was her that once destroyed the town. Our lives have already been messed up so much, we don't need this now.
She's got to pay for what she did. Capture her at 10? At 8? At 8. Guys, did you not miss the part where she was a child? Did you not miss the part where she was a child? They're like, we should kill her.
Nick, look at the bell tower. Ispella's gone.
No, she's on the roof.
Yeah, Espella is, yeah. Heads up for this.
I beg you, don't blame Eve. It really doesn't matter anymore who rang the accursed bell. This town was all created for me. It's my fault you've all been used and suffered so much.
Espella, what are you saying? Please, come down right now. You haven't done anything wrong. It was all my fault.
The storyteller's voice actor is going for it.
Dad, I know that you did this for me. You've been so kind to me. And what did I do? I selfishly ran away from home.
I mean, girl, he sucks. Girl, he sucks. You don't have to say this.
Espella,
finish your story for you. The evil witch will be gone forever, and everyone will live happily ever after. Dad, thank you for everything you've done for me.
Girl, we need to get you into therapy, stat. I'm thinking twice a week at least.
Wait! Don't do it, Espella!
Dislocated. I guess she didn't hit terminal velocity, but dislocated. Maybe it's fine. Maybe she's fine, but holy shit, ouch. This is also a really beautiful cutscene. All these cutscenes are really beautiful, but the ones they did at the end, these are some stunning cutscenes.
Isn't that Darklaw?
Oh, hi, Luke.
Eve, why would you? I finally remembered everything I've done.
You're not the only one who remembered. You still have the pendant.
Yes, of course. That's because somehow I always knew it was important to me.
Espella.
You kept your pendant as well, didn't you, Eve?
Yeah, we're both deeply
For some
traumatized.
reason, I just couldn't let it go.
Yeah, because we were both deeply traumatized.
Espella! Miss Darklaw!
Quick! They'll fall if we don't do something!
Let's go. We have to save them.
And we were both girls.
No, you won't make it there in time.
Yeah, just give up.
Why?
The wooden handrail Eve's holding onto is rotted through. We need some sort of magic to save them.
No way!
Magic, you say?
Now's not the
Got an
time to
idea,
act like
Professor?
this, Professor.
If a bit of magic is all that's needed to save these two young ladies, then perhaps that is something I can arrange.
What? You can?
Forklift Guppy. Ninji, he's definitely fine. Ninji, he's fine. Ninji, he's so fine. And, like, that was so funny. Like, he just pointed. Like, it's kind of goofy. Like, his point was kind of goofy. What's going on here? Anyone? Professor? You're a sorcerer?
No, Ms. Faye. We have already established that magic doesn't exist, even in this town.
But then, how did you just do that? Why did you just do that?
What you have just seen was the last and greatest illusion within Labyrinthia.
Huh? An illusion?
Magic is but an illusion, and this illusion has been produced through the power of suggestion and Librellum's medication. Everyone in Labyrinthia has been under this particular magic spell. Now then, shall we break the spell?
Magic is the last mystery to be solved?
You've seen through all my tricks, Layton. I wouldn't have done it without the vital hint you gave me when we spoke in your tower.
Hannah, so I actually think Luke was doing this whole time, because Luke is not in the courtroom. So I always assumed that Luke was doing something in this time period to be able to see and figure out where, like, the machinery was. That was always my assumption, because, like, he hasn't been here. He was not there. They did not edit his little model into the courtroom. He was straight up not there.
The final spell is concealed at the start.
Okay, so what does that mean?
As you know, all spells are listed within this book.
That wasn't a spell, that was the magic of friendship. And the magic of friendship isn't magic, it's just like a known law of the universe, so. I hope that helps, Ninji. It's not magic, that's just how the universe works. You know? Right, the Grand Grimoire!
Now, what did Mr. Cantabella mean by the start? The front cover? Precisely, Mr. Wright. The final spell shall dispel the illusion. The correct incantation is hidden on the front cover itself.
Oh, right, this.
Well then, Mr. Wright. This is the final puzzle. Soon, a new day will begin for the townspeople. Let us put an end to this illusion. Once and for all.
Yeah.
Thanks, voice actor. The final spell. 90 Picarats. Hidden on the cover of the Grand Grimoire are the characters for that spell out the true magical incantation. Select the characters on the touchscreen and slide them over their counterparts on the tome's cover to make them vanish. The grand finale approaches. Remove the extra magical characters from the Grand Grimioire's cover to reveal a hidden incantation. Oh god, let's see how this works in this. There's been a few things that I've found were way easier on the 3DS than on a computer. Luckily this one's not bad. Take your fucking time, huh? This is such a funny puzzle to end the game on to me. Like, this is a funny puzzle to end the game on. They were like, I don't know at this point. Matching, maybe? Sure. It's really slow.
Okay, let's give it a shot.
Thanks, guys.
No objections.
Now we have all the talking at the end,
The
don't
sun
we?
is rising.
Where's my
And when
phone?
it does, its light will reveal the truth behind Labyrinthia's mysteries.
Now, Professor?
Yes. Shall we, Mr. Wright?
Oh my god, I forgot about how nuts this is. Like, guys, calm down. I forgot how many angles they did for that. That was so unnecessary. I love this. I love this plot twist. It's so funny to me. It's I kind of love, like, I kind of genuinely love it.
Magic behind Labyrinthia.
I actually
Excellent
think it's
work,
really,
my
this
boy.
is a really fun random last plot twist.
Hey, it's Luke!
He is forklift certified. He's gonna do great in Steam Bison. Is it Steam Bison in New World of Steam? Because he's already acquainted with machinery. Hello? Okay, thank you, game. Oh, they have no heads.
Hang on a second. The town's full of machinery?
So much for magic. It was all done with these machines.
That's right. With magic, witches can fly, buildings can disappear. Those are no easy feats to stage. To make all those incredible things real, we needed a great deal of machinery.
They
Couldn't
spent
he have
so
just,
much money
I
on
don't know,
this.
made the magic a bit simpler?
Phoenix, it's already the worst magic system in the world.
a witch would say the incantation, and shades would stop time with their silver bells.
And they'd go wild with these machines, making all sorts of crazy stuff happen. That's so cool. I'd love to try it.
I took a quick crash course before operating the machines.
Oh god,
Not
this
bad.
sounds like... Shh, everyone be quiet. This particular piece in the soundtrack actually sounds a lot like a very specific Kingdom Hearts theme that I played in high school, because we actually did one of those video game live compilations, and this sounds like there's something about this music that really makes me think of that Kingdom Hearts theme, and if I find it, I will let you know what it is. Not this part, but the other parts. Ninji, I'm gonna be honest, at the end of this, they actually show a golden phoenix. So I'm kind of wondering if Eve knew she was going to have to drop Herschel into the forest to show him the shades. So I wonder if she just made both as soon as they came in. She might not have made Phoenix, but like, since he's at the end, I was like, I wonder how much of that she was ready for. Like, cause like, she might have been like, well, I have to get this guy into the forest, cause I need him to see some of the shit back here. So what's a way to turn him and get him into the forest? I could just kill him, but he'll need something else, you know? So that's the best logical reason I can come up for why there was a gold Layton. And I don't think it's the worst one, because she did know he was coming and plan, so she could have been like, okay, and Luke and Layton were in like holding for at least a day or two before they were brought in, because Maya and Phoenix are here before, which we never really sorted out that timeline. So if Layton and Luke were in holding, just like unconscious for like a day or two or more, then she easily could have like figured out like what the statue was supposed to look like, however they decided to do that. I think it's technically feasible, they just don't explain it at all, you know? Like, there's a bunch of,
What would we do without you?
like, there's a bunch of stuff at the beginning that they don't explain, like, that's a quote-unquote magic, that doesn't make any sense if you think about it, but most of the stuff in Labyrinthia itself makes sense, which is kind of funny.
So when's my turn? I want to pick something up off the ground and make it fly through the air.
I wish you'd stop looking at me when you say that, Maya.
Well, in any case, I think we should head back to the courthouse.
Right you are, Professor. The judge might have fallen asleep waiting for us.
The sun has risen above Labyrinthia, and has shown us our town's true form. Well, I really don't think there's any need for a verdict anymore. The witches on trial weren't witches after all. I am deeply relieved that those I have sentenced are still alive and well. At last, I can step down from this seat with a clear conscience.
You are not a judge.
And now, the final verdict in the last witches' court session ever to be held.
Yeah, no, I agree, Sabranth. Like, we were really ready. He was really ready to and down with killing people, which I think is actually one of the reasons, like, I'm sad we didn't get back to Zack, because I think that's what makes Zack really interesting, is that he goes, fuck. I have put a lot of people to death who probably who might not have needed to. Or maybe all witches aren't bad. And he, like, kind of has a complete crisis about it, which is hilariously almost a parallel to Edgeworth, except none of these people died. So, Zach is so interesting. It's sad they don't come back to him.
I'm very grateful for all the help, Professor. The feeling is mutual, Mr. Wright. The gentleman always fights for the truth. I could not have done otherwise. I'd like to congratulate the two of you. You both did splendidly in court.
Oh, it's the judge.
You've brought to light the truth about this town. Although I still find it astonishing that we could not see all of this.
I get it. There's like, because like that thing is, this last trial is so fucking long that I know adding Zach in more would have been, like, even this ending part is gonna take us another like 25 minutes. I just did Duolingo while we were waiting. But I do wish we had gone back to Zach.
I cannot even begin to imagine how it was achieved. You were all given a very simple instruction when you were hypnotized. You cannot see pure black. That was sufficient.
I actually really genuinely like how simple that is. You know, I really like how simple it was. They were just like, you know what? You can't see pure black and everything is covered in it. And I think that's such an interesting and like simple way of handling all of this. You know? I think it's interesting.
Oh, now I see. These strange contraptions are made from some sort of black metal.
Wait just a second. There are plenty of black objects all over Labyrinthia, aren't they? There.
Yeah, that's right. My hair is charcoal black too.
Ah, but it is not pure black. It's not vendor black.
What?
Oh, really good novella, thank you.
What we often perceive as the color black is, in fact, far from being pure black.
What if we spirit people away on drones? Well, you know what? Randall was more ethical about it, so he gets more points.
Our brains interpret reflections of light as colors. Objects which reflect even the smallest amount of light are not pure black. Pure black is only encountered within natural nature as darkness.
Darkness, sir?
Machines used in Labyrinthia are coated in a special material developed by Labellum ink. It absorbs light without reflecting any. It is the only material that can be said to be pure black.
Ah, I bet this invisibility robe is also made of that same material, right?
That's correct. And of course, the bell tower was concealed using the very same material as well. When you think about it, this town abounds in all things invisible.
Huh?
Ms. Darklaw, or should I say Ms. Belduke?
Yeah, exactly, Sarah. Exactly. I think it's like I kind of like how simple it is, because it almost makes it like way more believable, because they're like, yeah, we just told you guys to ignore your brain to ignore the black, and you're like, oh, like, yeah.
Yes.
For 10 long years, your memories have been suppressed.
The truth about what occurred in the belfry was invisible to me, you mean?
I read that weird.
Mr. Cantabella and your father knew it all along. They knew who actually rang the bell.
What? Did they really? Is that true, Cantabella?
I love how they slowly move apart.
As we have demonstrated, it was easy to deduce from the situation in the belfry.
But if he knew all along, why didn't he say something?
It was, of course, for your own good.
Fuck you. What is...
Angry at her!
This is like just like Kat being like, "Oh, Ernest, your mother let you believe that they all stole your money because she wanted you to have something to drive you so you could survive on your own." Like, that's why she just let you believe this lie and go on a revenge quest. She loved you. What?
You were trying to pin the blame for that disaster on a speller.
Yes, I was, but if you knew that, why did you keep quiet about it? If you had only scolded me back then for lying, maybe a speller wouldn't have suffered such trauma.
It was your eyes, Eve.
What?
Your eyes weren't those of a liar. You believed in what you said. You truly thought it was a speller.
So we just went with it.
I really like the way they did the fire in this one.
What you saw was too much for you to bear. Your mind blocked out the real memory of what happened in order to maintain your own sanity. Had I called you a liar then, you would probably have suffered a mental breakdown. Mr. Cantabella and your father created this town. You were mistaken in thinking it was purely for a speller's sake.
But, like, you guys had her doing child labor at 10. Not great.
It was also for you, Ms. Belduc.
Like, you all suck. Not, they did a bad job. They did a not good job.
Ugh. Remember what your father wrote in his suicide note.
I have only two concerns. The first is my daughter. It pains me to be leaving her alone in this world.
Man.
Although she probably doesn't think of me as her father.
So they were not seeing each other. If she didn't think of him as her father, they were not seeing each other probably.
I had an argument with my father once. He was always thinking only about the town and paid no attention to me.
So you moved out, then broke off contact with him.
Okay, so she lived with him for a bit. But we don't know how young she was when she left. Presumably she was, she's only 20 now. So she probably was a teenager or something? I don't know.
But you were wrong about your father. Not a single day passed without him thinking about you. He helped to make the story I was weaving a reality, for your sake.
I've been so ignorant.
Guys, we're not handling this well.
I was so convinced father was driven to suicide by you.
Your father couldn't bear the sense of guilt he had accumulated over the past 10 years.
Oh, Hannah. It's one of those, I bet.
Even though he killed himself in the end, I believe you were always the most important person to him.
Eve?
Espella.
We know, Hannah.
Espella, what I did to you is unforgivable. I rewrote your story, putting you through all this.
Girl, it wasn't intentional. No one here was doing anything of intention. Like, you can apologize for other stuff, but don't apologize for the way you, you can apologize for this. I need a mental health professional. I need someone who knows what they're doing in here.
Extreme because of one wrong assumption.
It wasn't a wrong assumption, though. Like, that's the thing. It's not a wrong assumption. It's a trauma response.
No, it's okay, Eve. I wasn't angry.
You weren't?
You've always been on my side, protecting me. And even today, you saved my life.
This arrangement sounds a lot like the one they ended up using in DGS. Like, if not nearly identical, it's so similar to the one they use in DGS.
Espella.
I also owe you an apology.
It's like it's so specifically like very, very similar to DGS. I'm like, did we just use the same one again? I'm sure they're slightly different, but...
Friend, I'm so sorry, Eve. There you are, Eve. Where were you?
I love that they were like, we're gonna animate her picking up her kitty.
Your cat's called Eve.
We've already discussed this, girlie.
You know what I've just noticed? You two are very much alike. You and Eve the cat.
What? It's all in your head.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like Eve has taken a liking to the other Eve.
You've got that right, and the similarity is really striking.
I love how we're spending time on this. We have like 8 million other things. Like, that is very cute. We have 8,000 things we could talk about instead. You know?
My accidental guests.
This ending is
Professor
so
Layton,
long.
Mr. Wright.
Yes?
He's not here, Hannah.
I must say, I am indebted to you.
Don't mention it.
I feel like the very least they could have done was like have a line that's just like, and someone let, like before this, where they were just like, and someone let
You know,
Zach out.
when I started planning my revenge 3 months ago, Mr. Layton was a part of my plans.
And that's why
I
he's
needed
gold.
to lure him to Labyrinthia.
Why me?
Wait, how did we get Carmine involved? Did she contact Carmine?
You were famous in London, and word of your skills reached me even here. What's more, you specialize in mysteries. So I thought that if you came to this town, you'd feel compelled to solve ours.
I'm just like always trying to figure out how Carmine factors into this.
Well, I am honored.
Well, because I'm thinking Carmine might have like been involved, because if Layton was involved from the beginning, or her goal was to always get Layton here, then why would she just like, you know, like, but I also don't know why she would have gone to Carmine instead of Layton, other than she couldn't without being suspicious. So maybe I will make this work. I'm gonna be the one person. I'm gonna be the one. Wait, quick! Someone look to see if there's any Carmine
That's cool.
fanfic.
And what about me?
Oh wait, guys, it's time. And cool. What about me? Hold on, I want to take screenshots of this part.
Ah, well, about you. How should I put it?
Get ready to get crushed, Phoenix.
Your arrival here was purely accidental.
This is literally the funniest thing they could have written at the end.
You mean it wasn't planned?
Like, she was just like, ah, fuck, I got a guy, I don't know, make him a baker.
As you know, Espella escaped and got involved in that incident on the freighter. As a consequence, I had no choice but to bring you here.
I see. I shouldn't have asked. My fragile pride suffered yet another blow.
Nick, you can't escape your fate.
Ninji, that's what I'm saying. We're on the same page, Ninji. That's what I'm thinking as well. The only thing that could have made it funnier is if she used Clark or something. Hannah, anything interesting in the Carmine Accidenti tag?
You're doomed to always find trouble if it doesn't find you first.
Thank you. One of these days I'm gonna have enough energy together to make a few little comics for my Clark is on the Bostonius AU because Clark is on the Bostonius AU. Also, if the professor said in this stream, I just realized that I have not thought about pressing that button at all. So our count is completely off now, and I'm so sorry.
How about some words of sympathy for a change?
It completely slipped my mind this time. It hasn't slipped it the whole time, and this time it just was gone.
I am terribly sorry.
Stop apologizing to this man! Why is everyone always apologizing to this man? No one should be apologizing to this man.
Whatever your intentions were, the last witch trial has ended in the best possible way for this town.
I do really love the colors they used for this guy in this.
You were correct in your judgment. You always are.
Yeah, fuck this guy.
You're too kind to me.
No, he's not.
I thank you from the bottom of my heart, Eve, for opening my eyes.
Sorry to break up this little happy ending, but I've sort of got an important question. Why were you going to end the story?
God, this is so funny. They just this is so weird. I forgot this is literally like one of the last things in the game. Oh yeah, I'm dying. Just kidding, I'm not. This is such a weird part of the game. This is actually one of the weakest parts of this game to me. The fact that they're just, they didn't even bring it up earlier. I feel like it simply would have been stronger if they had brought it up earlier. Technically we have an idea that he's dying because he, coughs or something. But, why does he not outright say it earlier? And then they have him realize, at the very end, someone comes in with a message or something. It's so strange. I'll take a look later, Hannah. I don't know if I want to read anything. Mostly because I don't read Layton Fix, so I was just curious.
Only Newton knew the real reason. I am suffering from an incurable illness.
Incuritis, yes, we know.
What?
Dad, you're ill. Is it serious?
Yeah, but actually it's fine.
It is a rare disease with no known cure.
But it's fine. It's because we did find a cure.
Why didn't you tell me? Had I known...
I wanted this to be my secret. I suppose that was a bad decision on my part.
I'm sorry the voice acting is a little funked. The emulation speed is real slow right now.
I thought I'd finish the story before I died and lay the foundations for a new world. Honestly, I was desperate. I didn't much care about Labyrinthia anymore.
Dad, why did it have to
Oh my
happen
god,
to
I'm
you?
so sorry about this.
Especially now that we're finally back together.
Yeah, we're at 78%. It's really it's an auditory nightmare.
Cheer up, Espella.
This is so weird.
How can I?
Labrellum's new drug development center contacted me a short while ago.
When? In the last 3 hours? You decided to when?
They have
Oh fuck.
A wonder drug.
They have succeeded in creating a new wonder drug or something. God damn it.
Newton had been working on finding a cure for my illness until the very end. It would seem that the cure was his final gift to me.
My father.
Can we speed it up, guys?
Newton was the truest friend I ever had. I'm going to undergo surgery. Do not fear. I shall return.
We already talked about this, Ninja. I think on stream, but you might have missed it.
So stop making that sad face, Espella.
back to how it once was?
Girl, you were 6.
Of course it will.
Don't respond in that way.
And Eve, will you still be my friend?
I'm so sorry that this last part, like, with a lot of voice acting has really slowed down, but I can't fix it.
Of course.
Get this old man out of here. Can I have an edit of this? Can someone make an edit of this where we cut this man out of this? Can we please get rid of this man from that image? Can we erase him? I think it should be very easy. I think I should edit that. We gotta edit this old man out of that image. We have gotta get him out of there.
I'm going to drop by Miss Eclair's bakery. I've got so much to tell her. Do you mind if I go, Dad? It won't take long.
Girl, she knows. She was there. Yeah, I'll make it at their wedding.
Of course not. Please do.
Looks like Eve wants to come too.
What? Oh, you meant the cat.
Espella, mind if we tag along? Not at all. You're welcome to come.
Awesome! Maybe we'll get some tasty baked bread out of this. I thought we were going there for a different reason. Well, anyway, I'll be off then, Professor. Pass on my regards to Miss Eclair, Luke.
And then we have more. We are not done yet. So, what's going to happen to the town?
I've released everyone from hypnosis. They will soon recover the memories of their lives before Labyrinthia. As of today, Project Labyrinthia is over.
Ah, I see.
They are free to leave if they wish. I imagine they will make a run for it. This place will turn into an uninhabited ruins just like it was 10 years ago.
I have some doubts about that.
I don't. Like, without government funding, you guys, like, how do you don't have, like, you guys don't have, like, an economy? So how will you get other food to this place? You don't have a doctor. You have a bunch of people who are going to realize they aren't, like, really, there's a ton of jobs that, like, people probably aren't fulfilling. Like, why do you think people are, like, I truly only think that Labyrinthia would be able to stay as is without, like, a ton of involvement for, like, I don't even know. Like, it could potentially become, like, a tourist town. I can see it becoming a tourist town. The reason I don't think that, the reason I'm not sure about that, the reason I'm not sure about that is purely because of the government's involvement and how, like, unethical all this is. So if this isn't some huge news story that has, like, a ton of lawsuits come out of it, then I can really imagine it being a situation where, like, basically Librellum is like, okay, well, and the British government is like, okay, well, everyone sign NDAs. We're not going to ever talk about this again. And so if we can't ever talk about what went on here, then how can people live here? Well, I mean, they could, but they'd be living here as a tourist attraction, but everyone would be like, oh, this is just like a cute region, like a cute little Renaissance situation, right? And you just have to be like, yep. Yeah. That's it. Which I don't think the entire town would be willing to do. I just think this is such a weird situation, and, like, I think it's a weird situation, and we leave, so it doesn't matter because we don't come back to Labyrinthia. So I think the two options are, like, tourist town, or 3 options. Tourist town, everyone leaves, or, like, I don't know, like, I don't know how to word this, and I'm tired. Let's move on. Hi, Judge.
Your Honor!
I kind of almost think it's going to be end up being NDA'd out of existence.
I now understand that this town is an artificial creation of yours. Nonetheless,
I don't know if NDA'd out of existence is the most fun option, but I do. However, absolutely, if people do find out about this town, this man is going to be sued to hell and back.
to us labyrinthians, the past 10 years were real.
No one can yet tell how this town will change. However, it is possible.
Is it possible that everyone is about to get super sick? I guess maybe not, because like they have had, you know what? No, it's fine, because new people have been coming in, so it's probably fine. Or maybe like they have to be quarantined beforehand. I'm just like, 10 years is a long time, and like I can't. Even though we've talked about vaccines as like a joke, I'm like, have they like? Are they getting flu shots? You know, like have we done like a whooping cough vaccine?
That some people will want to stay.
What about how's Shingles doing?
Who knows? Perhaps you will find yourself creating a new town along with them.
He's going to jail.
You say? I am no longer the judge, but if possible, I would like to remain here.
You have my gratitude, Your Honor.
You need not address me as Your Honor anymore, Sir Storyteller.
Uh-huh. Oh, slow zoom. Oh, that fade did not work.
And so, the last witch trial has drawn to
I
a
think
close.
literally when they say, oh, I want to go talk to Patty, when Espella says that, if they just replaced that with somebody going, oh, we should go let Barnum out of jail, I think that literally would have fixed the Barnum not.
What did Mr. Wright, Mr. Layton,
You know?
and my father talk about?
I think that would have helped a lot, because he's not mentioned.
That I do not know. But Dad made a promise to me.
I cannot believe she was just like, yeah, we're all gonna be family now. Like, what are you talking
Once
about?
everyone recovers their memories and he is cured of his illness,
He's going to jail, girl. This man's
he
going
will
to
return to write a new story with everyone's
He's
help.
going to jail.
This time, the story will be real without any lies or illusions.
Oh, absolutely, Hannah. Like, you know, I just, ugh. Oh my god, here it is, here it is, here it is.
Huh? Huh?
Damn, that's some crazy bridge. Look at all these guys.
What a beautiful sound.
Almost as if it's ringing in a new beginning for
There
the
he
town.
is! There's his elbow!
Thank you, Eve.
So did they just like all stop drinking the water? I feel like we did it. I think they
Okay,
just
then.
all stopped drinking
Whenever
the water
you're
or
ready,
something.
Mr.
I've
Barnum.
always wondered about that. There he is! Why is the dog on that side?
Thank you! Thank you all so much for everything!
Espella, you take care now.
You too, Mr. Cantabella! Bye! Be sure to visit us again!
You can bet on it!
They won't.
I
Not
wish
here.
all of you
Don't
the
visit
very
here.
best.
Guys, can we just meet in like London or something?
Mr. Wright, I knew I could count on you.
Hannah, you
to
know what I'm
stand your
thinking of,
ground
Hannah.
and
Hannah?
fight me to the very end.
Hannah.
Me too. I always believed in you, Professor. And I know it's why we managed to get to the mysterious truth behind this town.
I don't think Zach knows what the fuck he's doing. I think he spent the past day or so trying to learn how to drive a fucking boat.
London.
They're friends. I love how they have to show Zach one more time. They were like, ah, fuck, we forgot about this man. Just show his face one more time, that'll be enough. Oh my god. Oh my god. Guys, are you ready for British Edgeworth? Anyway, here's the phoenix statue I was talking about. Shu Takumi and Atsushi Kano? I don't know. We did it! We finished versus! Woo! This game fucks. I love this game. Oh, there she is! I love that they got him like a fucking golf cart. Like, also, what does he wear at any point in time? What is he wearing ever? He's very funny to me. I love this game so much, and I do love all this art at the end. This art at the end is super cute. Me in the background, falling asleep. Like, who knows? Like, what were these people's jobs? Obsessed with the fact that they said they're gonna commit to the old clothes because it's been so long and they're used to it. It's a good game. I genuinely think this is a good game. This is one of my favorite pieces. It's so cute. This is an absolutely adorable piece. I love it. I love these girls. They're so fun. They're all super normal. There she is. Woman. We got a woman in the house. They're sticking with the Ren Fair thing, except Zach. He went to a department store. Rouge. Is this the... No, it's not. Oh, there she is. Is this karaoke? What is this? Is this a drag show? What's going on? For real. What is this event? What is this event? Like, what is this supposed to be? It doesn't matter. There he is in the background! Zach Bakery moment! Strip club? Strip club, great. Kibby. Yeah, yeah, let's cut the old man out of this one too. You gotta get rid of this guy. I'm sick of him. I'm sick of his shit. We gotta get rid of this dude. Oh, right. Oh!
You know, Professor, I feel like I've just finished reading a really long story.
Well, I'm glad to know they were gone long enough to fucking fix the window.
It certainly was an enthralling adventure.
They were gone long enough that they replaced the whole window.
Back in Labyrinthia are getting on.
And cleaned the
I'd like to
room.
go back and see them. Although, I'd rather not have to be sucked into a book to get there.
That's what Emmy was doing.
Carmine to come along with us.
Carmine mention!
It's a real relief he recovered from all of his injuries.
Carmine mention!
But he was a bit put out when he found out you'd already solved all the town's secrets, Professor.
Well, we mustn't forget that we didn't solve them all by
God.
ourselves.
Carmine would be the funniest fucking pull for a cameo.
Across the Atlantic.
I wonder what they're doing right now. Battling away in a courtroom somewhere?
I'd wager they may well be, Luke.
Are you
At any
ready?
rate,
Are you ready?
We must make our own preparations. There's a brand new case that requires our attention, and that means a brand new set of puzzles.
Exactly.
to be solved.
Carmine, you roll a steam jump scare, please! Miles Edgeworth, Miles Edgeworth, Miles Edgeworth. Are you ready for him? Are we all ready?
Hold it!
Ah!
What's the matter, Wright?
What's the matter,
Has the
right?
cat got your tongue?
Help!
Or are you still in a holiday kind of mood? Perhaps your mind is as clouded as the
English sky? British Edgeworth can't hurt you!
Not really. If only the professor were here.
Ah!
I think at this point you've got to use
God.
that patented
Why the
spell
fuck
of
are
yours.
either of them in a British court?
Spell?
Hello, Earth to Nick. Just when we think it's all over, you always use it to turn the tables.
They literally were just like, fuck, we have Edgeworth in this last section.
I don't need a witch's scepter.
We have Edgeworth in this last section, and all the lines are voiced.
Chit chat for later, right? I've almost missed that utterly annoying spell of yours. Fine, let's hear it then.
God.
Just take a deep breath and give it all you've got.
Like, they really were like, shit, who's still in the studio that we can make do these 4 lines? They really were like, fuck, who do we have? Who hasn't left yet? Literally, like, who hasn't gone home? Can we come get them to do 4 more lines? Well, thank you all for coming with me. Why is your son British now? Thank you for coming with me on this journey of Professor Layton versus Phoenix Wright. I love this game so much. It's such a fun game. Yeah, it's literally Barnum, so yeah, it is. Special thanks to all these people. So, that is the official end of the Layton games until New World of Steam. Yeah, Carmine! Sorry. I got really excited. I think my joke liking this guy has turned very real. And I don't know what to do about that, but love that man. He doesn't exist. But yeah, so last Layton game till New World of Steam. Would love a release date beyond just 2025. They want to tell me it's earlier or later, that would be cool. But they don't have to. They can take their time. I do have many different cameo options for them. Please? Please? I can think of so many that would be really funny. But, so next week, we're actually going to be playing the Des Dating Sim, which I do have written in all caps on this sticky note in a very bold pen. Des Dating Sim. So, and then after that, I actually, sorry, Ninji, I actually don't, I have class next Monday. Oh no! You'll have to, my actual question was what we wanted to play on Mondays afterward. Because I don't know what we're playing after this. If anyone has any suggestions, you've got like a week to let me know. That's okay, Dingy, don't worry. I'll talk, and if we feel like we need music, I'll just throw on the Layton soundtrack, because if I put on the verses, it doesn't get nagged. I'm trying to remember what games I've been told to play. There was this one linguistic game. One shot. I have not played this. I do not know this one. I'll open it up. So we have that one. We have some linguistic game, 2023, that my brother suggested that I can't remember the name of. Chance of Sinar, but I would have to see what that actually looks like because I don't know. A few people have suggested Persona a few times. I have to test Persona games before I can play them because they're expensive. And I need to see if they're gonna make me throw up. So, maybe we'll do one shot. I have to look at it. It's overwhelmingly positive. And it's currently 40% off, so that's great. If anyone else wants to buy it. Yeah, but we'll figure it out. But thank you all for coming. On Thursday, we're going back to 999. I was normal about it tonight, but let me tell you, in my head, I have not been normal. I have not been normal. I have not been talking to anyone about it, but I have not been normal. On Friday, I don't know if Ronnie is back Friday. If Ronnie is back Friday, we're doing AA4. If Ronnie isn't back Friday, I really don't know what we're playing. I will figure that out on Thursday once I know if Ronnie is here or not. Because, one game I wanted to play currently doesn't work, and the other made me so sick I felt bad for the rest of the night. So, yeah, I'll figure it out later. Based on the original music from Capcom's Ace Attorney series and Level 5's Professor Layton series. Great. So thank you all. I'm gonna go to bed. Yep. I'm gonna go to bed. Have a good day, have a good night, have a good week if I see you, or if I don't see you. Drink some water, and I will be taking video game suggestions on any of my platforms if you want to give me any suggestions. Alright, goodbye!